Ryan, you hear me? I hear. Yo, Ryan, you hear me? Ryan, yeah. Let me know if you not hear me now. Let me know if you not hear me. Let me know if you not hear me. We have a lot of things to unpack tonight. Let me know if you not hear me clear. If you not hear me loud and clear. Check in, everybody. Let me know if you not hear me. Just wait till the fans them check in a little bit. Just up my mic. Yeah. Clearly. Yeah, man. Tonight is a different settings tonight. Back room, a different settings tonight. Just make the fans them check in a little bit. We have a lot to unpack tonight, brother. We have a lot to unpack. Rose Gold, big up yourself. Just drop the stream there. I'm just drop the stream there right now. In the chat, make people know go on. That's stream there right now. 1 second, guys. Yeah, 1 second, everybody. Yeah, man. Yeah. Check in. We could get the thing up and running. Brian Michael. Yeah, man. Marcel. What name? Marcel Gayle. Marcel Gayle. We need to find who is Marcel Gayle. We haven't heard anything from this man. We haven't got an interview from him take on the job to coach our national team. So we need to find out who is this individual who's coaching the Jamaican national team. I heard that he's also, what is it, Marcel Gayle, aka Fuzzy. Your thing I move fuzzy right now. And we need to find you. There's this thing happening on YouTube right now, right? I feel like all the attention is placed on Rudolph Speed and Maxwell, the leader. They're one part of the problem, and we know for them part of the problem, the narratives and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, when you see a coach take over a job for your team and the coach don't come talk to the fans them, that tell me say the coach now have no direction, brother. The last coach will do this to we, a Theodore Whitmore. And before the Gold Cup, I sound the alarm and I tell them, I say, yo, we have to go get rid of Tappa before the Gold Cup. People them say, yo, give him a chance, give him a good coach. People are telling me, say, Mr. Marcel Gayle is a nice person. Brother, me no business. Me no business if him work for the Red Cross or Wayne Wando. We are talking about the under 20 football right now. The senior men's national team didn't qualify. So we now have no international football for watch Jamaica at a high competitive level. We can make him and him friend them mash up this. So Marcel Gayle, any cave or any cage you're under or any grave you're in, you need to rise up. Come talk to the fans them. You need to let us know a little bit about yourself. What's your plan for the team? Because we don't like what going with these English-based players. And we don't know if we don't want the players them come. We don't know who are going to pay for them plane ticket. It's a whole back and forth. We need you to come provide some clarity. We need you to provide some clarity. Cause you know when me a spot this is getting ready for happen now. The same thing with Tappa do. Hide out the fans them. When Jamaica lose, him come out and I say, well, the JFF didn't give me this, them didn't give me this, them didn't give me this, and but the boys put in an effort. Me no business but who want put in an effort, brother. You need to come chat, you need to come talk right now, or we need to get him fired. We are Marcel Gayle, I don't know you with all due respect, but we don't want to start run the Marcel Gayle has to go hashtag before the qualifier them start, brother. A 1 month left, my youth, and you don't have no respect for none of the fans them. Somebody I tell me say a Waterhouse your coach. All respect to Waterhouse. Me no watch Waterhouse, brother. Me no watch kick and run football. Me no watch kick and run football. So if you think we're not gonna just sit down and make the under 20 no qualify and you go back go coach Waterhouse and no kick and run football, we not depend that. We not depend that. I read all comments tonight, you know, cause we not depend on joke thing, you know. And anybody can find unseen sport, cause unseen sport seems like he is the mouthpiece for Mr. Marcel Gayle. We need to hear we need to hear from him himself. Brian Martin said, JT, stop listening to that man we a chat while a heap of things, brother, about the man them. No want English kids. No, Martin, me not talk about the man them no want English kids. We are talking about we don't know what them want. Martin, can you outline to me what the coach wants? Where are we going now? What's happening now? It's almost a month now. What I'm hearing is that we're hearing people saying out of the 30 players that them have, we might have 6 or 7 with quality. So that tells me, say, we are missing one whole heap of players. Okay, so based on where Rudolph Speed them I say is the players them, and I don't believe that professional players need for tryouts. Professional players need for tryout against who? The 5 and 6 player them. The 5 and 6 player them when they are Jamaica. At them they the professional player them fi come try out against, brother. Fi come try out against who, brother? Them man they don't need to come try out. We don't need to get this thing right, brother. And Mr. Marcel Gayle, I not disrespect people on stream, but we don't want to start the hashtag Marcel Gayle need to go. And we don't want make sure you're not coach a next national team at Jamaica. So you need to come speak up. Because me no big friend one coach, you know. Me are the coach slayer. You can't go look on YouTube and me kick off this thing and send Tappa and I'm grave. So this thing where you just did it quiet and we not hear from you and you just there one place a train one some bag of man we a kick and run football, you're not gonna come represent Jamaica and when we lose, people start sorry for your brother. We not depend that. So we need to hear from this man. We need to hear from this man. We need to hear from this man. We need to hear, but it's a disrespect. He cannot be coaching a national team and we not hear nothing from him. We not hear nothing from him. We don't want to go dig up no resume on YouTube. Look how Paul Hall is operating in a JFF where we know say the JFF is not working. But you can, Paul Hall has a plan. Paul Hall come out and tell him planning strategy, what he's planning to do. The man not even tell we when plan to do. We don't know when plan to do. What one if we are going to play like Waterhouse, what we are going to do. At that me I talk about, brother. A coach who don't talk to you is a coach who don't have a plan. Me I sound the alarm right now. Him now come talk to the fans them. I when want pull a Tappa, if him pull a Tappa, he will get a Tappa ending to feed him career too. So anybody when know Mr. Gayle, with all due respect, you go dig him up anyway. He need to come talk to the fans them. I mean I say he need to go talk on YouTube. Go talk somewhere. Go talk somewhere, brother. You see me I say? Me see people at the trainings and people are saying you cannot record the training. Bro, you're not at Barcelona. Me can go FC Copenhagen training session right now. Under 20 anything I'm going to pull out my phone and record anything more and record, brother. Where wanna hide? Wanna hide? I wanna have some new style of football when nobody don't know about, brother. get this thing right, Mr. Gayle. Get this thing right. Get your act together. Start speaking up. Because we don't want to hear when the thing talk go wrong, you talk about and never you pick the side. The Englishman, them never get them passport. We don't want to hear them something there. And tonight, me just a chop it to you. Me just a chop it to you. Rosgo say him I did never Bell assistant coach for Georges and Waterhouse coach, but him CV, you know that brother, me no care if him did a coach. Me no care if him did a coach Barcelona, brother. He need to come talk. I don't know him. Me ask somebody, me say, what's his style of play? What kind of football? Them say it no look pretty, but him get the result. Guys, who that sound like? That no sound like Tappa 2, no. It no look pretty, but it get the result. Me no want to hear that, brother. I don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that. He need to come out and explain to what we went plan to do. And this is why the local coaches them are constantly get beaten because of unprofessionalism, brother. When take up a coaching job, I don't know if you feel like you need to talk to the fans them like these big coach or what. Bro, football not play under cave anymore, my youth. He need to come speak up. Yeah, that makes sense. The professional should be in the squad. Yeah. That's Prodigy 30. Say that. Yo, JT, Speed didn't say that the boss. Say that boss. That's where me I say stop listen to super chat. Bigger brother. No, me understand. You know, say me and the super chat bigger them and a friend, you know, brother. You know, say me a big friend, you know. Me and them people, you know, good. Me and them people, you know, good because them people they just come and ramble on. Them come and ramble on. And people them always I say me I take Mr. Speed them side and all these things. But Mr. Speed them need to know say, yo, one thing with me, I tell Mr. Speed them on stream, I like clarity. I not like when things get messy and then the last minute people are come make excuse, dog, eat your homework, your book wet up in a rain. Me not want to hear that. I'm not trying to hear that. Until them I say before me come on a stream, I say me push the stream back and me calm because the amount of things we are fly around, me not like what me I hear. Me not like what me I hear. Me not like what's going on. And Formula, if you want to jump on the stream, I'd love for you come on the stream. Formula, I will shoot you the link right now. Because we can't have a coach coaching a national team and we don't hear from you, brother. This is the only country. This is the only country this happening where a man comes, he get the job to coach a national program, and nobody no hear from him. And when we start losing, I go pop up and say, we never get video analysis. We never get free walk from uptown to downtown. Brother, JTL, this a boy, me no care. Me no care where you eat for dinner. Me no care. If you can't manage a job, Lego. Lift up. Lift up. People say my bias more time, brother. Me know, I tell some of the fans them, some of the things them. Listen, fans, some of the time, una point on anger in the wrong direction. When I see Mr. Speed them and Mr. Maxwell them come on stream and clarify certain things, Mr. say everybody just dump out them anger they so overlook the source of the problem. Me always I go hold everybody accountable. Me I go hold the player them at Jamaica when not good accountable. Me I hold the coach them accountable. Me I hold the technical staff accountable. Everybody accountable, brother. But as of right now, I feel like what's happening with the under 20, it's starting to give me that bad vibe again about how we did kick off before we Gold Cup, where we now hear from Tappa. And when we start lose, you see him come with him long face, I come tell we say, you know, you can't even coach a national team. Again, Lego the job, brother. So me don't want to hear this from Mr. Marcel Gayle. And I don't disrespect people on stream, but as a fan, I feel like the fans them, you owe the fans them. You owe the fans them an introduction. Who are you? And everybody watch Georges, brother. And everybody watch kick and run football with Waterhouse, brother. We don't know who you are. There's a whole diaspora, over 6 million Jamaicans in the diaspora. And everybody will Google you. So we need to find out who you are. We need to know who you are. We need you to we needed to come out and speak. Formula, let me know when you're in the, just send me a private chat when you're in the back room so Ryan can let you in. So as for the under 20, the progress and the update, it's like we have here basically the worst part about this, people have to get them information from Cataract for under 20. I never want to get information from Cataract about any kind of football. And a Cataract have to give people under 20 an unseen sport updates on the under 20. Bro, those guys don't work for the JFF. They are fans just like we are. Where the coach there? Where the coach there? Where you plan to do, brother? Where is the coach? We need to find Mr. Marcel Gayle. We are sound the alarm right now. We need to find him quickly. We can't let him go into this World Cup qualifier and hide going at that. And when we start lose, you see him pop out, go make excuse. Before that, we need to start the hashtag get rid of him from now. If him can't handle the job. Prince say, so we not fi beat speed, we fi beat fuzzy, not it. Prince, me not even gonna start with you right now. No. Brady, they say we need videos of their practice match and training. Yeah, me I say the man them act like say a area 51, brother. Like them find some UFO, like no video can come out of this camp. What is this coach training? What is he teaching? Is he teaching something in football that hasn't been taught before? That nobody knows about? A area 51 him a run off? Why people can show a video of a training? No ball them a kick, no drill them a run. Or maybe you don't want us to see how terrible the players are that you guys have. Maybe that you don't want we see how terrible the players are. You see me I say? And me wait me make the traffic clear and evaluate and see how things build up. Me not jump come out come beat them until me see the thing I get to a level, because we also have to be we me like to split justice. As I said, me now go come out come blame the JFF for every single thing. And the JFF make we play them a Jamaica no good. And the JFF make we play them a Jamaica play kick and run, brother. Every man a play like a wild man street them come from. I like some wild football, brother. You watch the JPL and you can't even watch it for more than 15 minutes. Some big kick, boof, like run him down. Like a man just kick it and run him down. Like, guys, that's not football. Football these days is about composure, spending time on the football. One of the big things missing at the JPL, the players them take 5 minutes to control the ball, brother. Me never see this in my life. The man them take 5 minutes I think ball occur probably when Ryan come on, him probably can get some call in. The man them take 5 minutes to control the football. If you're gonna be a professional football player, the first thing the coach tell you is know where you're gonna go with the football before you get it. So what that does is it limits your time on the ball. It makes you're so aware, you're proactive, and you're ready to go as you get the football. When the man them get the football at Jamaica, like them have to catch it and put it down properly, and then when them pass it, it still end up in the stands. I never see this yet in my life. So this is one of the coaches who's coming in to coach the national program, and him not tell we where am I going to do differently from the wild man street football where them a play. Him not tell we nothing. We don't know nothing about him. He needs to come out. Mr. Speed, with all due respect, you know, so I disagree with you when it's time to disagree with you. And right now, if you are hiding this coach, we need you to dig him up. Whatever, anywhere in there, you need to dig him up and put him in front of the fans them. You have to understand this, Mr. Speed. You have to understand this. This is no longer the days where Jamaican football program, where some things just go on and the fans them just make it slide. And I'm gonna tell you earlier, Mr. Speed, I said, respect you for putting yourself out there, coming online and bringing clarity to things. But now it's his turn. The technical committee they have their job. He is coaching the team that's gonna go out there and represent Jamaica, and we need to hear from him. You have Bala Curse, you have some teamwork can play, brother. Stop telling. Well, Bala me sure say you have teams can play everywhere. I'm just telling you what I've seen. Bala you have to understand, if you watch bare bush football, you go obviously see some teams in the bush league were good. I'm in the stadium watching Malma IF, FC Copenhagen. A different kind of ball game them there, brother. I don't know, kick and run them there. So you see when me see the kick and run, it's like light years away from the level that I'm talking about. And I'm not expecting Jamaican football to be at that same level. But if you watch be a bush football league, you obviously are gonna get used to it and say you see some good things. And my definition of a good football game or a good football team is way different from yours, Balaker. Jamaica is a man with salad a man and run past a man and the crowd lift up. A football that. No, for me, I look on the shape of the team, how players are rotating, how they transition from attack to defense, things like that. Even how your goalkeeper is passing the ball out of the back. All of them things they come into play for me, brother. It's not like a man just beat a man down the flank and him just all right. Let me let Ryan know. Let me let Ryan know formula. Backstage. Yeah, we have to chop up this, brother. It cannot continue like this. But did you know that back in the 70s and 80s, yeah, Ryan, bringing formula. Back in the 80s and the 70s and 80s, long ball wasn't Jamaican style of play. Big up yourself, formula. I have to put on my headphones.
Yo, ready, sir?
I have to put on my headphones now, car, so I can hear you.
This is what Kanye West will call a visionary stream of consciousness.
What is that?
Instead of a rant.
Yeah, bro. This is not a rant, bro. People need to understand. This is not a rant. Formula. Just like when I was on Talawa show the other night. What did I say? Say to you. I said the JFF is gonna. The JFF. If I was a part of the JFF, I would write a letter to the girls and put the ball back in a freedom court and make them make a move, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what the JFF did. Exactly. They said we're keeping Mr. Blaine and the girls them now have to make a decision. So people have to understand how it works. We see things building up and we know how things are gonna work out. Let me hear what Bala Kura say now. The team them where you talk about in a Sweden, no good brother. Stop tell lie. Like you know ball. The man and say FC Copenhagen who played Champions League and Malma IF who played Champions League last season and won the league this season and I go play Champions League. Bala say them no good formula.
Balakar. Balakar always a go on with him foolishness in the comment section. Balakar. How can you call two of the biggest clubs in Scandinavia not good? You know how we'd love to have a Jamaican right now playing on one of those teams. There are very few Jamaican-born players, Balakar, who could represent a Malmo or a FC Copenhagen, and that's facts.
That's facts. That's where Ibrahimovic started his career. Balakar, you name too much yam dumpling, brother. You need to grow some. You need to get some sense. You need to put some flour in a dumpling. Look like a yam dumpling. Yeah, it can more time you talk some foolishness. Balakar, how silly your sound is. You just said that Jamaica, JPL, you saw some good teams, but the team them in a Scandinavia were playing a Champions League. No good. Let's move on. Continue, formula.
No, man, me just take in the live. Me literally me I go show it back on.
Yeah.
Me never know me end up on YouTube and I see the stream, Bertrand.
Yeah. So, but you see what I'm saying, formula? How can a coach get a job and he doesn't come out and do a press conference, explain himself, explain the direction of where he wants to go and how is he gonna do things differently.
I agree. I agree. No, I mean the whole U20 thing is shrouded in secrecy, and I agree. I mean, it's not looking good right now, to be honest with you. I was saying this on my stream the other day, and seeing us, vehemently disagreeing with me. But it really and truly not look good. Look, me not bring no bad vibes to the team, or you know, trying to be negative about the whole situation. But just to be real, I am concerned about the U20s right now. I am, because I mean the preparation is very late. It's very, of course. I mean, Gayle himself said that in an interview. Gayle himself said that in an interview titled "Race Against Time." So it to be honest with you, man, it not looking good right now, to be honest with you. It's a last minute scrape up, fling together kind of thing. And the talent alone, will not make up for lack of preparation. Even if Marcel Gayle was, the second coming to Pep Guardiola, that alone, that alone would not make up for the poor preparation that has taken place thus far.
Yeah, and this commenter said crazy Yardy TV said, but I know him for organize press conference. Today I reached out to somebody and I said, what's happening? We need to get the under 20 coach on. The person said to me, the man then really have no time to do interview, cause I'm a coach Waterhouse. And then listen, him a coach kick and run. Him a coach them kick and run side. He got an opportunity to coach a national team. He's no longer representing an area in Jamaica. You're representing a nation, a diaspora. Me no care how much time him have. He's what kind of coach who never has time for an interview for an hour or 30 minutes. Me no want to hear them fooling their brother. And
Yeah.
somebody, he needs to be somewhere. He need to go upon somewhere. If I even him need to organize, because we don't want to end him career before it start in this thing. Because we no friend coaching. We no friend coaching. If you're
You know,
not bringing the result for Jamaica, we no friend coach and we no friend players. Because Jamaica we say first.
but
Jamaica first.
I'll tell you this much though. I'll tell you this much though, Taylor. In a written interview that he did with either the Gleaner or Observer, one of them, recently, that the one that was titled "Race Against Time," right?
Yeah.
I really and truly think he did. I think it's a possibility that he could have done that interview to kind of put the excuses out there from now. To
Okay.
put it out there, because it was the poor lack of preparation. It became an even bigger issue after that interview. And me personally, I think he's trying to put it out there from now. It could be a possibility that he's trying to put it out there from now for say, yo, if that team and I make it, and I mean a boss.
So this is why Formula may I try dig him up from now. That is when I say the same thing me do when it come to Tappa before the Gold Cup. Everybody where they on YouTube if you know. A J Taylor the first man say, yo, if a signature we have to go use, get rid of Tappa. The man them a say, yo, J Taylor you turn signature boss. Me I say no, the signatures take down governments. People don't understand how the world works. And this man right now, when me sound the alarm from now, when a coach don't come out formula and explain his formula, it tells me he doesn't have one.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Yeah. This is no give a blight. The national team, the senior team didn't qualify for the World Cup. Now, the fans are looking to see Jamaica on the international stage with the under 20s. So we can't have you mess this up, brother. We can't have you mess this up. This is not, you can go back to coaching Waterhouse. A lot of us here, we don't watch Waterhouse. So when you mess up the thing and come with your excuse, you can go back go coach your team. We're talking about the national team here. We're talking about the entire diaspora, and he needs to step up and man up formula and take the bull by the horn and show us he's ready to represent the team and represent the diaspora and the country.
But you know, one of the things though that I realize with many Jamaican coaches, especially the ones who take the reins of the national team, many of them don't really seem inclined to speak to the media. And I don't know what is it. I don't know if it's the federation has a problem with them speaking to the media. I don't know what it is. But when you think about it, though, when you think about it, Taylor, Tappa never really used to deal with the media.
And we
But
saw
his
how that ended.
successor, yeah, but his successor is very much, far more media friendly and willing to engage the media, speak to the media, and let the media know his plans, his plan going forward,
But formula,
short
this is
term,
what
long term plans,
formula
all of that stuff.
formula. This is what all professional. This is why I'm just a point out for the commenter crazy how they say. What you mean by kick and run, coach? I call all local coaches kick and run coach because that's how I see the football in Jamaica has been played from the high school level all the way up. It's kick and run. You kick it and run it down. That's what I mean. Just to give you some clarity on that. It's kick and run. It's not a composed football game where you string passes together and you see the build-up play, you see transition, you see rotation. You see sometimes you will see those in the game, by accident. You will see them think they happen by accident. They might pull it off maybe 5 minutes out of 90, but it's not consistent. In a professional team, you need to see those things happening consistently, what your team is trying to do. And when you don't have that kind of formation and formula going, you're going to have a team that struggle to come back from a 1-0 down or a 2-0 down because they don't have a system that they know it's going to end up working over a long period of time, even if they have a bad start.
I mean, to be honest with you, Taylor, and again, I mean this with no offense to Jamaican coaches, right? And it's not an indictment on their ability, right? I'm not saying that they don't have the ability to become good coaches, but what I am saying is that many of them, not all, but many of them, they do have some smart coaches in Jamaica, but most of them, 90% of them, if not more, really and truly does not have the knowledge through no fault of their own to go up against their international counterparts. So find them look like decent coach when they are playing in the JPL, but when them go up against other teams in the region, they are out coached, they are out foxed, they are weighed in the balance, and they are found to be wanting.
Listen, Balakir, I think you people always misunderstand me now. Balakir said, JT, remember you are the one where always I talk about yard baller. You see, we have to understand in a Balakir, a lot of you guys as fans have selective hearing. You pick out the part of the information that connects right away. It's like the hook of the song.
That's
I,
a
I,
solid point.
I always say to them, formula, what I always said, I said you reward your top 2 or 3 player from your league to compete for a position in the senior squad. I said you keep bringing in 2 young players, you give them a shot. If those 2 are not ready, they go back and try to develop, and you bring up the next 2 who is next, and you also bring in the top goal scorer if he's of age and he looks like he can progress. Wasn't that always my sentiment, formula? I
Yeah,
never
that was always what you said. You
I,
always said
I,
the top two.
yeah, so when and I also said I never agreed with having a quota system at the senior level, never at the senior level. And I also stuck to my point when I say at the under 17, if we have a quota system, it should be non-binding, right? Formula. So if we're looking for 7 or 8 players from Jamaica, and we can't find 7, the rest of the players need to come from abroad that year, because this year we just don't have enough players coming through. That's why I said it shouldn't be non-binding. But I stand by my comments that we have to have an opportunity, leave opportunities for local players to, when they reach their pinnacle based on the league that was set up for them to excel in. When they excel there, they should be rewarded with the opportunity to represent their country.
I disagree, though, you know, Taylor.
Yeah, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, man. And you know, we need to, even me to need to do a better job at respecting other people's opinions. Seeing? But my thing is that me personally, with the greatest of respect to JPL and JPL players, I don't think that they are ready for the national senior team. I don't. Look, you'll have a 1 and 2 where jump up and impress, right?
Yeah.
When
Not consistent though.
Yeah, when you see a real exceptional talent in the JPL, right? I mean the top 2. You say the top 2 at any given time. I say when you spot a real exceptional talent in the JPL, fine, give them a chance. But generally speaking, 99% of the times, JPL players, again, through no fault of their own, are not ready for international football.
But it goes to the other part of my point where I said they should get an opportunity to compete for a spot in the squad. I never said, because here's a squad with 23 players. I said in the squad.
Yeah, I always
because
said that. That's true.
in the squad, because for me, is the best 11 out there. If it's 11 players from England, who's the best 11? They're the one who should start. But it doesn't make sense you have a local league if there's no local players in your squad learning from the top professionals that you're bringing in. It's no sense for your local football. It might as well you squash local football in Jamaica.
No, I think what they need to do, because look, I know the talent of the players may have an issue with, right? The players are not properly developed. The system has failed them. The Jamaican system has failed our young footballers. My thing is just the fitness levels alone. When these JPL players don the national colors, you can see that it does not measure up to their international counterparts. Look at Peter McGregor. Perfect example. Look at even Peter McGregor. Look at Peter McGregor's physique. Look at his build. Look at his build. And look how him look. Him look like a professional footballer, versus when you look at the other players in the JPL, they don't have the physical build.
But you also have to take in consideration. No. All right. So I can agree with part of that. And big up yourself, Grimy family. Big up everybody from the Reggae Boyz Nation chat. Grimy family, Ames, them, Prince, everybody, the whole squad. Big up on yourself. Big up Raja, them youth there. What I'm saying here, formula, you have to understand the makeup and the physique of Jamaican, the country as well. A lot of Jamaicans are either slender or, you see me, how we set up. A lot of Jamaicans don't start lifting weights at a young age. Jamaicans tend to, if a man say, yo, you're big and thick, them just call you Bolo at school. A man say, yo, a Bolo in name. I just hold that the man they set up. You see what I say? So, but if you look at overseas, young players are lifting weights from a young age and working on their conditioning. So, certain things, I'm not going to compare that. However, that's why I'm saying a formula in the squad. When you bring in a young player from the JPL who is excelling, 2 or 3 of them, he is going to quickly realize, brother, I'm actually a mile behind these guys.
That's fair.
I have to get better. That's why when I say Daniel Green got a chance the last window, Daniel Green wouldn't get a call back up from me the next window. He has to go back and build himself up. He committed the most foul in that window, and as an attacking player, that's absurd. You can't explain that to me.
Yes, the thing about Green though, as underdeveloped as he is, you can see the potential, and that's one of the reasons why it hurt me, Taylor. As underdeveloped as he is, you can see that if a Daniel Green or a Nicholas Nelson, right, or a Peter McGregor, or one of
Oh,
these
okay.
players, if they were born in another country, they would be far better players than they are today.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get to the Peter McGregor, thing, We're gonna let in Richard. We're gonna let in Sir Richard
Mhm.
because tonight I want level-headed individuals in this discussion today.
But
Level-headed.
Taylor, look at McGregor though,
One
right?
second,
Because
one
see,
second formula. Ryan, let in Richard. Richard is in the back room, Ryan. Let in Richard. Go ahead, formula. Sorry about that.
I have seen Dunby holding games with Peter McGregor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at Peter McGregor, you
Mm-hmm.
can just see, that he's of a different ilk.
Okay.
Anybody that don't know this player's background or this player's history, you can
Okay.
see he's of a different ilk. Now, why is Peter McGregor of a different ilk? I'll tell you why he's of a different ilk. Because he went to Scandinavia and spent
Mm-hmm.
almost a year at one of the biggest clubs in all of Scandinavia, one of the most successful clubs in all of Scandinavia. That is
Mm-hmm.
why you drop back this player in the jet. Remember, it's only a couple of months he was there for, but yet still, you take him up, you fling him in at the JPL, and him look like just a different ilk. And it's not even like he was in Scandinavia for 3 years. He was there for a couple of months. So if 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 a couple of months of proper development can make Peter McGregor look like a completely different caliber player to what he's playing in Jamaica currently.
Yeah. Yes.
Imagine the quality players that we are going up against when our national teams play our international counterparts with players who have been exposed to the same sort of development that Peter McGregor had for a couple of months. They have been exposed to it for a couple of years, for
All
their
right.
entire life. And
Yes.
if
Yes.
Peter McGregor can come in at the JPL exposed to that sort of development for a couple of months and look like one of the greatest things JPL ever see, in no time he's near the top of the goal scoring standings.
That's a good
Imagine,
point. That's a good.
yeah,
But hold on, formula. Let me just welcome because we have a lot to chop up in the family. Yeah, tonight when you see my coffee, me make my coffee, me contact Sir Richard. You're on stream, level-headed individual. So we want this discussion tonight to have some substance. We're not gonna do in shop pizza thing tonight. You see, I said we will also want to also stay on. We want to stay on pace on what we started the stream. We want to just let Mr. Richard knows that the stream initially I was saying that we can't have an under 20 coach who's here to represent an entire country and a diaspora, and he hasn't done an interview explaining to us his direction, what's his plans, who are the English-based players that we're planning to bring in. As someone contacted me today and said, "But JT, we want to help to pay for the tickets for the English-based players." So I said to him, "How much English-based players is the coach willing to take?" The guy said to me, "Well, that's the big problem." So I said, "That's the big problem, exactly, because nobody hears from the coach." Nobody hears from the coach. So he has to come out and outline the direction. Even and don't wait till we lose. He comes in and start complaining about what he didn't have. So just to get you a little bit up to speed there, Sir Richard. I'll let Formula finish and then we hand it over to you. Continue Formula with the Peter McGregor because I thought it was interesting, but just to put a wrench in your statement, Peter McGregor, he developed, yes, but if he developed as well, why did he end up leaving Scandinavia to go back to the JPL? That's another thing, we have to look at the talent that he's playing against there. The development looked like a huge contrast because he's playing with players of a lower quality as well. How good is he when he's playing with players who matches his ability? Continue, Formula.
but Taylor, and that's the thing. Peter McGregor got about a minute of game time in a friendly for the club that he signed for. They loaned him out to a club in the Swedish third tier.
Wow.
Not the Swedish second tier, the Swedish third tier. And going off memory, if my memory serves me right, he was not a starter in the Swedish third tier either. And Balakar, look, I want to say this to Balakar. I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying in a Balakar, right? Me nah just beat the player them for beat the player them sake. Me nah say the player them not good. Me nah say the players them don't have the talent. That is not what I am saying, right? Jamaicans have the talent to become world-class footballers. There's no doubt about that. And that is why the situation hurt my spirits up. Because the talent is going to waste. Look at our Jamaican counterparts that have been born and bred in England. They have a smaller, the population of individuals in the UK that have Jamaican heritage and Jamaican connections is a smaller number than the ones who are on the actual rock. But look how many professional players that group is producing. Look how many top quality players that group is producing.
Okay.
Right? That shows me that we have the talent to produce a Leon Bailey, to produce a Raheem Sterling, to produce a Isaac Hayden, a Lewis Baker, Ethan Pinnock, Rico Henry, Ivan Toney, Mikel Antonio. We know all the names, Javan Anderson. Right? There's too many to count. And that is why it hurts me. Because the system is failing our young players. I see Whispers father in the chat. Big up, boss, big up. Right? Look at that talent of a player. Look at that player at 16 years old and look at what he's doing. When you hear, the reporting of what he's doing in Spain, when you saw what took place in that match against Aston Villa, a Sheffield United, right? The clips and the videos of the match is online, etc., etc. You can see that our players have the talent, but the development we need to step it up. I was talking to Military Guna last night, right? And off not on camera, not on ear, right? In private, right? And he and I were talking, and I was telling him that I have no time for schoolboy football.
Yeah. I can't watch that. I can't watch that nonsense.
Because it can't support foolishness. Schoolboy football is not like we have been trying this thing for decades and it has not been working. You see, if this is look, no country in the world, no country with any decent amount of footballing pedigree, Taylor, uses schoolboy football as its main engine to develop players.
1 second, Formula. Ryan, if you could bring up that comment from Patrick Riley. I don't want that comment to escape because we have to touch on that as well. Continue, Formula.
Right? There's no country that uses schoolboy football as an engine for development. No, if we were in the early days, right, of the rise of schoolboy football, right, and people are advocating for it, but I said, okay, fine. Let's see if this thing is revolutionary. Let's see if we, have come up with a revolutionary and better way than what the rest of countries in the world are doing to develop young players. The fact of the matter is that this thing has been going on since Wappy Kill Philip.
All right.
And it has been failing our youths.
Big up Ian Campbell. Patrick Riley said, JT, are we doing something to pay for the tickets for the guys? I'm interested. So that's where the problem comes in, Mr. Riley. What we said is, how much players are the fans gonna pay for tickets for? We don't know what the coach wants, who the coach wants, where are they now, what is he looking for? So that's why I had this stream tonight, Mr. Riley. I'm saying there are fans in the diaspora and people, Ian Campbell, a lot of others, working as hard to make sure that the players that we need get into the team. But we have a coach where we don't know who he is. All me hear
Taylor.
people are say he used to coach Georges. Who cares? That's Georges, bro. How many professionals came from Georges that's playing in any top leagues? You coach Georges. Okay, great. Georges players excel in a Georges system. Do they do they translate that in the professional game? I haven't seen it yet. So I'm
But
not
me not say
buying that.
Waterhouse or Royal George's leather.
That's what I say. Waterhouse is playing the usual kick and run. They're playing the usual kick and run like everybody else. The young man from Waterhouse that played for the national team in the last window, I think he played left back. Me see the man there that
Him play the games that I've seen him this season for Waterhouse him play right back. Ricardo Thomas.
he look Wildman Street him a play like him
Yo.
come from. Sir Richard, let me bring you in here, Sir Richard. Let you chime in on this take. Welcome.
Thanks, JT. Thanks, JT. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, yes.
Give thanks. Good evening, Formula Sports. Good evening, viewers and subscribers.
Come on, bless up Richard.
Every time, every time. Patience is a virtue. Listening carefully, as I have been over the last few days. On this stream, you've hit the nail on the head, and I'm waiting to hear if you recognize the irony of what faces us on two levels. Firstly, it is stark, staring obvious that the structure of Jamaican football is representing and presenting challenges to the sport in Jamaica. This, on the second point, situation regarding Marcel Gayle, no interview. We're not sure who is being selected. We don't know about the plain fair selection and situation. And me as a Jamaican, living in England, born in England, Jamaican, I'm wondering if I'm welcome. I'm wondering if the players feel they're welcome. And overall, the overarching thought and reflection that I've got at this moment, JT, Formula Sports, good people out there, is Jamaica ready to embrace and address the hard questions, the challenges that present Jamaica, as opposed to the opportunities? At the moment, the challenges are far outweighing and clouding the opportunities that are plentiful. But I fear that due to a combination of mindset, poor structure, vested interests, and maybe just Jamaica being a culture, footballing culture that is still relatively young, it's going to be very difficult for us to be punching at our weight at the world level, at the CONCACAF level. And as far as I see at the moment, the only place that we realistically feel that we can cope and punch at a relative weight is at Caribbean level. To be frank, excuse me, got a little hay fever. JT, Formula, is Jamaica really ready to meet the challenges that present themselves? For example, let's cut to the chase. Under 20s, we've got a coach here who's not piping up. He's busy, apparently, missing in action. What action, we don't know. You laugh. But this thing about having the best team available, whether at senior level or under 20 level, we've got our best assets. Look at Manchester City. Well, a little club analogy. We've got Manchester City, Chelsea, Liverpool. Their finest assets, strengths. They've got money, financial clout, terrific manager, great scouting system, unity of intent for the club. Jamaica, as far as I can see, their greatest assets, among their greatest assets, is, as Formula alluded to in this conversation, he said the likes of Rico Henry, Mason Holgate. We've got loads of talented Jamaicans who are not based in Jamaica, but they have been brought up in academies and brought up in systems which result in them being quality players and quality professionals, including young players who can represent Jamaica at the under-20 levels. But due to the vested interest situation, due to a whole plethora of factors that you guys know much more about than me, it's just a pity, a real crying shame that we're not actually willing and ready to draw upon some of our strengths. We're hamstringing ourselves.
Sir Richard, and I'm gonna let you continue, because part of this as a fan as well, and I see this all the time. I think a lot of time the fans are misdirected. They enjoy the Mr. Speed, Craig Butler saga, those things, while the real issue is just sliding under the rug. The real issue, they can come and choose side, say me upon Mr. Speed side, the man upon Craig Butler side. That's not moving the needle, mate. That's not moving the needle. What I'm trying to do is pinpoint the real issues. Mr. Speed is a part of the technical committee. He's not coaching the team. For me, when there are technical blunders and administrative blunders, for me, there's still a game being played on the pitch. And there's still a coach there carrying out instructions. And that's what I'm mostly concerned about. And I think the fans has to start directing the energy that they direct to Mr. Speed in the right areas, such as they didn't notice that the coach didn't come out and talk to us yet. And today I said, I can't listen to this noise anymore. This is nonsense. In any football organization around the world, when a head coach gets a job, he sits down and he explains the mode of apparatus. What is he planning to do? What direction he's trying to take the country in? What the talent he has and what he needs. Because it's when the coach doesn't speak and he says, when Jamaica start lose, the first excuse he comes out with, Sir Richard, I didn't get the video analysis. We didn't have a personal trainer. We didn't have a physio. We didn't know that, mate. You didn't say anything for 2 months. You didn't say anything for 2 months. So don't cry to us. Cry me a river. I don't want to hear that. So now this is what I'm sounding alarm. We need to dig him up now. He needs to come out and explain what are the shortfalls, what he needs, what are the problems. Because we don't want to hear him come when Jamaica start lose, him come the same long face interviews. Well, the boys, we didn't get to prepare well, but the guys put in a good shift today. We almost won the game. We say in Jamaica almost can't kill bird, brother. We need precise individuals out there.
JT, is it possible that Mr. Gayle is missing in action? Could it be the case that he is actually working extremely hard? He's got a large pool, a talented pool, and he may actually have some gems and some gold on his hands.
Sir Richard, are those players from? Are they from Mars?
My lord, my lord.
Where are those players from? Because I think the diaspora knows every single player in Jamaica. Somebody in this chat know every single footballer in Jamaica, and if they know them and we don't hear about them and him know them, he's a genius. Continue. Sorry about that.
No problem. I'm listening carefully. JT, Formula, tell it as you see it. The crop of Jamaican-based talent under 20 level, how good are they?
Better than what we had previously.
Okay.
That's true. Yeah, but how good are they on an international standing? I don't know. I can't answer that question, boss. Because we haven't seen them. Well, apart from the likes of a Zimenis is the only one at the top of my head right now. that we could, talk about in terms of, we have some measuring stick according to international standards. But the rest of them is just a wait and see approach. Really and truly, that's what it is. We don't know. I will say this much though. This pool is better than previous pools. That's facts. This pool is better than previous pools, but in terms of from an international standpoint or the measure up, we just have to wait and see.
How much of an issue do you guys have with the Jamaican players who are currently based overseas? As I said, have come up in academies with professional footballing clubs, have put their hands up and are deemed eligible to represent Jamaica, and yet they've had to come over for trials, and we don't know how many of them may be selected. Are you confident, 90%, 80%, 100%, that if they are good enough, despite the, let me be generous, challenges that have been put before them, the kind of proof, how much do you want to represent Jamaica? Pay your airfare. All right, they pay the airfare. How confident are you that having paid their airfare, having had the trials, they'll be deemed eligible and able to integrate into the team? So when we see the opening fixture and follow-up games, we can settle back and wish the under-20s well, knowing that we see before us the best available under-20s under Marcel Gayle that can fit into his system. I'm giving him that credit. I don't know much about Marcel Gayle. I'm assuming, and I wish him well, that he has a game plan, a tactical plan, a method of play.
Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that. This is the same thing they said, Sir Richard. Them said Tappa had a playing style. They also told me that before the World Cup, when I came and said that una go to and see a doctor and get on a medication because Tappa go give you high blood pressure. The people them say, JT, you're too harsh. Tappa have a playing style. It unfold in front of us. Continue.
JT, thank you for that interjection. I don't want to talk overly. I want to listen and see how the land lies with the commenters and your good selves as well as Formula. JT, what's your expectation levels of Jamaican football in the CONCACAF region? We've got the long distance, we've got the Gold Cup, we've got the Nations Cup, we've got another World Cup campaign ahead of us. Some people say we need to get a good core and crop of players together sometime by 2024, so we can get those players together and keep them there for a protracted campaign and a concerted effort to make a World Cup rather than going for the late last minute flyovers. How is your expectation levels regarding Jamaican football? I seem to see a dichotomy of knowledge where football is concerned in Jamaica. JT, speak.
So you see, if let's say the campaign started a little bit earlier, to me, I would give them some credit for getting it the first part right. You brought in all the players, you scanned the island, and let's say we came up with 6 or 7. Now it's time to bring in the professionals from England. Who are they coming to try out against? That's what I'm thinking, Sir Richard. Who are they trying out against? Are they trying out against the 7 players that you now deemed the best out of the group? Are they coming to try out with the rest of 30 when they're that good? It doesn't make sense to me. And I'm saying, no, this is where the JFF, they do one thing right, and then them just, like you at a birthday party and a person slamming face in the cake. They just stuff their face in the cake at some point. The party is going on, okay? The music is fine. And then this person just comes and stuff him face in the cake. And this is what they're doing. Now it's time to bring in the professionals from England. dog eat my homework, my book wet up in the rain, all kind of excuse. When it's time now, you found your 5 or 6 that we can give an opportunity from Jamaica. They're the best we have at that level. Now we need the professionals from England and we need to get them here now. I don't want to hear about anything else. We're trying to win now. So if we have 7 players, that means we need what? Another how much we need now? We need another. So we have 5 players. We need a next like what? 18 from England, right? Or from the diaspora. We need another 18 to make up a 23 man squad. So what's the hold up? We don't want to hear on a start scrap and try to pick out of the 30 where on the dash way already. We need professionals to come in now and blend the squad. And when the squad gets comprised of all these players, the 5 best players that you found on the island, if they're not good enough to start, they're not starting either. Not because they came from Jamaica and they made the squad, because that's where people always confuse what I'm saying about quota system and making sure Jamaicans get opportunities. Sir Richard, what's happening now would have been my ideal way of explaining the quota system. You've brought in 40 or 50 or 60 players from around the island, but you only find 5. So what the best thing to do now is what? You bring in the professionals from England and the diaspora. And it's a balance. You gave 5 opportunities for young players from Jamaica to be a part of the squad. It doesn't mean they start. Because when they get into the squad, now we're looking for another quality to start. Making the squad is one quality, but there's another level of quality to start the game. This is where they drop the ball. Now it's time to bring in the guys from England without no talking. We don't want to hear about what happened to your homework. We need them. We need to know where we're going now. So if we allow them to continue like this, Sir Richard, what will happen is we end up have 18 players from Jamaica and 5 from England. And that was the only 5 who chose to pay their playing fare. If we allow them to do this now, this is what they will do. They will go back and then the people them who have contacts with the coach and the JFF, them slowly slide in for them player. Them slide in a youth where in family well connected in Jamaica. We don't want that. You guys found 5 good ones. No, we need the professionals from England, and they don't need to try out. Try out against who?
JD, put a pin in JT, put a pin in it. By the way, JD from IMAX, I want to salute because that brother, he can deliver. Monologues was one thing, but he delivers in terms of having a passion and insight for Jamaican football. And sometimes, well, not sometimes, often he's not afraid to ask the hard questions. I'm going to put one of the hard questions that JT Cataract would ask. I'm reflecting on it. JT, you've just hit a nail on the head. You're bringing it out in the open. We're on the platform. And I saw a comment by Karumi. I salute. Good night, Karumi. 18 players. Karumi was asking you, JT, where are you going? Sorry. Where are you going to find 18 players from the diaspora?
There are more than 18 Jamaican players from the diaspora who have better quality. That's.
Do you see where we're going? I would say absolutely, but it's interesting. Speak, JT. Go ahead. He asked the question, but go ahead because they could be.
Coach Karomi, that's the thing. We keep discussing it backwards. We keep having discussions backwards. Coach Karomi, you in your right mind know that there is more than 18 quality Jamaicans overseas who's under 20. So we that kind of discussion, Coach Karomi, I'm actually quite disappointed in that question. You're asking me where I'm gonna get the 18. They're there. They're there. We need to skip over that. That's what I'm trying to say. We need to skip over that and have the real discussion of how to bring in the players, not where they are. They are there. So continue, Sir Richard.
No problem, sir. I see Robert Smith is saying we need the English players. English-based Jamaican players to come and prove themselves in a trial. So that's a kind of not halfway house. He's saying, come over, have the trials. Don't just assume that, yes, you're professional. Here's my paperwork. All right, you're in. No need to kick a ball. Have the trial. My not concern. I'm aware though that if someone comes over and has a trial,
A trial for Omari Hutchinson. Richard.
Formula, I'm gonna let you continue. Let Sir Richard continue. If you're gonna have a tryout, this tells me that the 5 players you have in Jamaica is your benchmark for quality. If you're gonna have a tryout where professionals come in to try out in Jamaica amongst the 5 players you found, you're saying that these 5 players you found are better than the players who are playing for Arsenal and QPR and all these different clubs. And that's where I said that you must be eating crack, because that doesn't make any sense in a football sphere. Some of these guys are even struggling to get off the bench in the JPL or the local leagues. They're not dominating. When you look at a player like Omari Hutchinson, he's on the bench for the senior team of Arsenal 1 or 2 times. Who does he come? I think he is the benchmark. Omari Hutchinson is the benchmark, and I think they have it the opposite way around. I think they're making the benchmark the 5 players that they found, and I think that's where they're going wrong.
Well, JT and Formula, could I ask you, speaking from London, England, can I ask you directly? It's an opinion that you're expressing. You might have a inside line, an inside track on just how germane this comment is. Could it be the case that the Jamaican JFF, the system, the structure, and the powers that be simply are not willing, due to whatever reasons, they're just simply not willing to invest and go down that line of reaching out and gathering their best, quote unquote, players who are based overseas? For whatever reason, I'm going to leave that to you. Could that just be the case, JT? They don't want to go down that line for whatever the reasons, actually, some of which you've stated already. Is it a case that this is part of the reason why Jamaica is not, as a football culture, seasoned, wise enough as yet? Because there are things that are hampering and holding back Jamaica from actually just concentrating on their strengths and us as fans enjoying and seeing quality football. We have the opportunity to see, sooner than later, terrific football being played by Jamaica, players representing and in the Jamaican colours. As it stands, I can envisage many of us fans in the social arena just continue to watch the English players, the English clubs, as Man City, the Liverpools, the Chelsea, the Arsenals, and enjoying it and having the banter. But our nearest and dearest, Jamaica, is just a bag of drama, and we're not following best practice for whatever reason.
You think, Sir Richard, that it's a possibility that they are thinking that the English-based players won't be able to play the kick and run system? Maybe the coach is intimidated. This is the only thing that I'm thinking about, that maybe the coach has said, yo, them players here, them will come in and pass the football, them now go kick it and just kick it out of bound, or them head take them and them just do something silly. Them will go actually play the football good, and we don't want that.
Well,
I'm wondering.
Well, JT, Formula, I don't know if it was you I was hearing laughing, and I wonder if I could, I wouldn't be surprised if I could hear laughter in the comment section. JT, what you've just said there, I mean, you know what, watching the under-17s reggae girls, there was some feedback. I was watching on Talawa TV. Good night, Crystal Davis. Good night, Crystal. Hope your back is feeling somewhat better. She was following the fortunes of the reggae senior girls and the under-17s, and we saw the under-17s reggae girls coach, and he had a certain style, shall we say, that certain people took, shall we say, issue to. the coaching, the quality of Jamaican coaching has really been brought into the spotlight. And what you just said there, JT, is something that I don't know how willing, how seasoned, how wise the footballing communities are in Jamaica to accept that this is part of the quote-unquote problem. The caliber of Jamaican coaches, as formula says, with all due respect, is not of a sufficient standard where we can comfortably and confidently say they know how to coach and bring out the best in their charges. So, JT, you're very good with the analogies. Could you conceivably see a situation? Formula, could you see a situation? Commenters, could you see a situation? Close your eyes and picture it. You may have been in this situation before, where you have a person in control, but they don't know how to bring out the best in their charges. They may be jealous, they may be insecure, whatever the reason. As a result, they feel best and happiest in their comfort zone. I think that was one of the reasons that we had the Tappa situation. He relied on players that he got on with, but that's different from actually coaching a crop of players and bringing out the very best that they have to offer, including a team formation and structure. I've been brought up in a culture where passing the ball, first time, one time, two-time touches, looking up, receiving the ball, having a look to your left and right, knowing where your players are, and passing it, give and go, following up, having structures and systems where if you spread the ball out to the left or right, you continue your run, so you have a 1 or 2 or maybe 3-man presence in or around the penalty area. People know their roles, their duties, their responsibility. You enjoy seeing the to and fro, the thrust of competitive teams knowing exactly what they've got to do and presenting the greatest dangers and opportunities to, here's the thing, score a goal or 2 or 3. They have the capabilities and they know how to do it. Do we entrust our Jamaican coaches to know exactly how to bring out the best in the flavor that we see? Did anyone watch Manchester City playing, for example? Yes. We're not saying that everyone's going to aspire to that level at the moment because we're talking about the under-20s. But just cast your eye on Manchester City versus Wolves. 1-0 up, 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1. Just check how the players went about their business, including Mr. Sterling, including Mr. Silva. They are players who know with their eyes closed because they've been brought up and coached by a player, by a coach who knows how to play the game of football. And with all due respect, I just don't think that Jamaica are fully ready to embrace the best that they have to offer. And it's small-minded, it's one-eyed, and it's unfortunate. Now, if we can find a way around that, or if I'm out of line, please let me know.
Sir Richard, let me read a few comments, and I think we formula it's time for him to chime back in a little bit. He said, B. Douglas said, he's not working as far as I'm concerned. There is no camp going on. So that's one of the answers for, is the coach working on something, sir? What is that? Squelch 100 say, isn't the level of football in Jamaica an indictment on the local coaches? That's something to take into consideration, guys. Squelch say again, okay. Tennessee Lewis says, but formula, how do you know they're better if you have never seen them against international probably opponents, you want to say. So keep that one in mind, formula, for when you come on. This Baller said, this under 20 no better than the last one. You're sick. Go check that out. That's Baller at it again. Ishmael says, I'm going to back Ian Campbell right now. He helping to get one of the under 20 player to Jamaica, and we should show our appreciation. Ian Campbell will be on the stream soon. I send him the link because I think he's one of those persons who has been working very hard in the background to get things going in the right direction. Patrick Riley said, no confident this coach will choose them. Coach Karomi said, please don't compare Marcel Gayle. Please, different mentality. That's the whole point, Coach Karomi. We don't know the mentality. We don't know the man. This is why we have this stream. We'd like to know what he is planning to do. Ishmael King says, Ian Campbell is one who speaks but always helps with solution. True. Sheridan said, same script, different day, J. Taylor. Agree. Duncan Mackenzie Zeminis and the Phoenix players have the quality, of course. Let's see. Jay Weather say, as soon as a man them start talk about Tappa, me get a headache. All right. Call it what it is. Eagle Republic. Shop window thing. We have been showcasing players since 1999. Anthony Bluefield said, Mr. Richard, speak on the knowledge that you, Formula Sport and JT have in comparison to Mr. Gayle. Okay.
Yes, I saw that. I saw that. Do you want to answer that quickly, JT? I did see that comment. Interesting. Is he suggesting that we are alluding that we know more than Marcel and we should in Marcel we should trust?
I think
great.
I think he's trolling us.
Anthony Broomfield, I think I know as much as Marcel Gayle. I think he doesn't know anything that's not on this planet. Whatever he knows can be learned. He's not speaking to aliens who is giving him football formulas that nobody around the world can learn. So whatever license he has, that's the knowledge he has. Whatever experience he has, that's the experience he has. We're not taking away from the experience and his knowledge of football. But what we're saying, when you signed up to coach Jamaica national program, us fans as stakeholders, we demand you come and speak to us. You show some respect and come and speak to us and outline to us where you're taking the country and it's football, because you will be representing Jamaica. He's not just representing himself. And he has to know that he's not just representing Waterhouse, which is just a region in Jamaica. You're representing an entire nation of people, a diaspora. That's the difference when you take on a national job. When you get paid to coach a club team, that's different. That's results based. I pay you and you give me the results. National teams comes with pride, a whole other culture, the social construct, the how you market the country, how you speak, everything. So it's a little bit more deeper than that, Mr. Broomfield. Maybe you're just looking at it as the football acumens.
JT, would you give a little leeway, Formula? Would you give a little leeway to Mr. Gayle, who I don't know much about, and I wish him the very best? Could it be conceivable that he's not a media person, not as confident as your good self? I don't know. I'm putting that out there.
Jamaican coaches in general don't seem to be media personal friendly, especially when they are coaching the national teams. They really seem to shy away.
Formula, here goes the analogy. Would you want to be in mid-flight and the pilot says to you, I'm not really the pilot type. I'm just here flying you guys around. I'm just here flying you guys around. I'm not really the pilot type. I just figured I'd hop in the cockpit and just fly you guys around because I like to do it.
JD, I'm gonna issue a point of order on that one. With all due respect, we know that Mr. Canelo Saul Alvarez, recently lost against Dimitri Bivol. Salutes. But man, that was a low blow. I didn't see Bivol throw any low blows, but that was a low blow, JT. JT and Formula, 2 questions. Good evening, Prince. Are you that Prince?
Good evening. Good
one
evening,
love,
everyone
sir.
in the panel.
One love,
one
respect.
Jamaica, one love. One
Jamaica.
One love.
I want to ask the 3 of you here right now, JT. You've used that analogy. Now we know we're having a serious conversation, and within the serious conversation, there will be fun and joke, respect. But here's my question. Is it reasonable and conceivable, justifiable maybe, to appoint Jamaican coaches to represent and oversee Jamaica's finest whilst not being media savvy, media friendly, or media confident to talk just like the likes of JT, just like the likes of a Prince or a Formula or a Christian?
Richard, can I answer that question before
I
you
want you to.
finish
I
it?
want you to answer the question. And
I'm
has
going-
this been
I'm
an
going to
ongoing
answer.
situation?
I'm
Has
going
it been
to
an
answer
ongoing
that
situation?
question. I'm going to answer that question before you even finish it, right? When you're talking about individuals who are of the highest level in their respective fields, right? You will never stumble across somebody who is an expert in their respective field, who, when they open their mouths and speak on matters pertaining to that respective field, don't do so eloquently, don't do so in a very articulate manner, and don't do so in a manner that inspires confidence in their ability to show that they know what they're doing. When experts on a subject matter speak, they know, speak on that particular subject matter, they know what they are talking about, right? If you are sitting in an interview as a coach and you open your mouth, right? And I am saying to myself, boy, me as an ordinary civilian could have get a better interview on football than that. That to me is a problem. When you are an expert on your subject matter, you can speak confidently on said subject matter and inspire confidence in others that you have the ability and that you know what you are talking about. When you have not mastered the subject matter, when you have not mastered the craft, that is when you open your mouth and you start speaking on the subject matter, you sound as if you don't know what the hell you are talking about. And this is a pattern with Jamaican coaches who, when they do interviews, or as a matter of fact, especially when they're coaching the national program, they rarely do interviews, right? Especially not sit-down interviews. They might give a little 1 minute interview to TVJ when TVJ got a training session and shoot a mic and a camera in them face. But to sit down for a half an hour and really flesh out the issues at hand, Jamaican coaches don't, generally speaking, do it. Right? But look at the difference in a Paul Hall. Right? Look at Paul Hall and his willingness to speak to the media. Right? Look at a Vin Blaine, a man who is very educated, right? And has been around, in different jurisdictions doing this football thing.
And Formula, a coach that never speaks can never rally the fans. You can never rally the troops.
Exactly.
You can't rally the troops. And that's why Paul Hall, you can see Paul Hall slowly bringing back the fans together slowly. It's slowly happening. But I can see the fans saying, I saw what he did the last game. And Paul Hall explained it before the game, what he's trying to accomplish. Because that's how people work. In marketing, it's called call to action. When somebody gives you direction and you know where they're going and you're seeing the result, you will be more patient. But the fans will not be patient with a person who doesn't tell us what he's doing, because we will never know what he's trying to do. We'll just see the guys out there kicking a kick and run. And we don't know if that team plan for play. If him come out and say, listen guys, we're going to line them up and we're going to play kick and run today, and they went out and play kick and run, we can't blame him. We can't blame him. But if he doesn't say anything and we see the team are playing madness, then you come into an interview saying, well, remember the last head coach said, the guys didn't do nothing that we trained, we worked on in practice. That was what Tappa said in his interview, He didn't, the guy, because that's how we were confused, because we didn't know what the team was trying to do. But he didn't tell us. It was after their loss, he said, the guys didn't do anything. And that's what we don't want to happen again. Him not speaking is bringing back flashbacks and bad memories of Theodore Whitmore for me. Him not speaking, because I can see, I've seen this movie before and I know how it ends. I've seen this movie before.
All right, JT. What I'm saying, I can chip in now. All right. So I totally agree with everyone on the panel when I say that the coaches they aren't really media friendly. And we usually play the sport as well, and we usually work with a lot of coaches in Jamaica. And I can tell you, say some of these coaches them have some of the best personality. But here we go now. Jamaica can't know say them have good personalities unless them go out there in the media. And they can't sit down and wait for Prince say, say me usually play with a coach and me I tell you say I I can't have that you know way upon uno have to go out there and have to show the whole of Jamaica for no class. You see me? So you see the local midnight thing where we wanna stay in the backdrop and thing that now go work and have to come forward. You see me? Introducing yourself to the public and let the Jamaican people know what you're all about. Allow yourself to become a brand. And this is why I know that most Jamaican coach are not advancing in this field, right? Because we see right around the world, coaches now are becoming brand. So and the players alone are get sponsors. Coaches are get sponsor. You see me? If you look pan game, and the players alone they pan game now, all coach. They pan game and them thing there. So coach have become a brand as well. You see me? So people, you have some people not even care about the players them care more about the coach. Them follow the coach anywhere their coach go. Because the coach is a brand. So you have certain coaches from them club there, the viewership gone up. And that's a
Yes.
fact. You have to allow yourself to become a
And
brand.
Prince, and it leads back to the question when somebody asked the other night why Jamaican coaches never get coaching jobs overseas. Nobody knows them. They don't speak. They don't sell
And
themselves.
here why next thing now, JT. Here why next thing. You see, the coach, you can't stay at Jamaica and say he's a big coach. And you can't go in the Caribbean neither and say he's a big coach. Because here what is it? You know, I know that there's a lot of talented coach in Jamaica. There's a lot of talented coach in Jamaica. But same like how when you have a baller in a JPL, them grow up become stagnant are the same thing with coach people. You see, if a Jamaica you go stay, your growth are gonna be stagnant. You never are gonna reach your full potential. You see me? So just delete a narrative there when I say you're a big coach. There are certain things you won't
That's a
receive when
big
you are
point. That's
coach
a
in
big,
Jamaica.
big, big point.
Yeah.
And Prince,
Hold on, man.
we don't want to find the escape because that point was so good.
No,
That
man, I'm
point
still
was
a
so
work
good.
on it.
No. Hear what? That point was so good because you use that point now to define potentially what's going to happen with this coach. The fact is of what Prince said. He hasn't come out and spoken to us. So what does that show us? That he is the typical Jamaican coach. Then basically he hasn't come out and done anything differently for us to think that he's gonna be something else. So continue, Prince. You kind of sum up what we're trying to say exactly.
All right, JT. So me I say, the coaches, them just they are Jamaica. Them now go overseas. Them need to go overseas and them need for join some other club and see how the clubs operate and how the club actually develop players. Because me I gonna tell you say like if a Jamaican coach should leave Jamaica and them should go right away for be a head coach for like call a MLS team, it's gonna be too much for them because the amount of thing we have to do as a coach in a MLS, them not have so much thing to do as a coach in a Jamaica. Me I tell you, you see me? Yo, when I look on the levels, never mind now when Jurgen Klopp, Jurgen Klopp not only got Liverpool training, Jurgen Klopp, and enough of the time we see him at Melwood Park and he might visit the under 17 matches, he might visit the under 19. He's always looking for that next player to make the team. We not see them thing there go on
Prince.
in a JPL. Remember
Prince.
that me usually play football, and me can tell you. You see, the only time the head coach come watch match, unless him have something to do on the ground, and him just dead there. That's the only time the head coach come look for a match, If him there the facility for do something and a match just catch him. Really, I'm the head coach say, yo, you know what? Today me I go sit down and I go look on the under 14, I look on the under 16 or the under 18 them. And that is an importance why we need the youth leagues. I understand why Jamaica neglect youth leagues. You see me? Because couple of years we usually have under 21. Now we now have them thing. Yo, them thing there is very important to the development of the players in the country, And we are neglecting. We are neglect the youth them. You see me? So you see, everybody I say yo, them want local players and them want show by the British man them. But here we go on. You see, before it reach a point that we have to set ourselves straight. And right now, the shop not set up right. We're supposed to have youth league from under 12 or under 13, under 15, under 18, under 21 in every single parish. Every youth in every parish for play football. It can't be that, say you have some baller only start play football in a Manning Cup and Dakar Stock Cup. Like before that, they have never played under 13, they have never played under 15. It's just that them just use to play local community football and one day Manning Cup training a go on, Dakar Stock Cup training a go on and them run and them go out there and them do good and them make the team and then from there them start take the football serious. But guess what? If you are gonna start take football serious at that age, feel like say there is a lot of basic thing we run past you. Because some of them baller where play school football, they have never played under 15 and under 13. Them don't know what club football be like. And you see when them play Money Cup and them play good, then most of them that is the time that they start taking football serious and they might go in our one and two JPL team until the football carry on. So therefore, all the earlier development of them career, they miss out on that. They miss out on that.
Prince,
so we have to look on them blind there.
Everything you're saying there is spot on, and in terms of the lay of the land where Jamaican football is concerned. Are you willing to accept or understand that, because we were talking earlier about expectation levels, and I'm sure we've had this conversation about expectation levels, knowing what you've just said to be a fact, is it safe then to suggest that maybe in the eyes of the JFF and other people, they feel that they know where they can hang their hat? They know how far they can reach. They know the caliber of coaches they have at their disposal. They're aware of the logistical problems and issues and challenges that would result in reaching out to the diaspora. And because they know that, they're choosing to cut their cloth according to their coach caliber, the needs and requirements of the vested interests, including the players. And that's why we've got this hodgepodge situation where expectation levels, because we see and hear about the talent that is available to us, but the reality is the kind of cloth and the kind of a suit that we are going to be wearing and representing Jamaica with will be relative to the coaches that we have and the players that we have who are readily available. We don't have to worry about flight fares. We don't have to worry about making people feel away because people are miss out on opportunities. So the quick and fast solution is to just say, level the vibes. Marcel Gayle, let him do what he's doing. He's not media savvy necessarily or media confident, but he's doing his thing. We don't know what system he's going to have. And the players that will be representing Jamaica will be these same players who have come out of the Manning's Cup system, the schoolboy system, and were not going to be getting the pipe dream team that Jamaican fans, some, get me now, that's the other thing, some want. It's not everyone who wants what we want. It's not everyone who has our vision because of what you are saying. Prince, could you live with that? Can you accept that? Do you understand that? JT, formula, the same question applies to you, gents.
It's a whole heap of thing that you just say, It's a whole heap of thing for taking a context. Certain things may agree with, certain things may disagree with. One I think when I disagree with, persons always say dream team, but there is no such thing as a dream team. You see me? Every team have its strengths and weaknesses. If I look, The AC Milan 2005 team, Pierre Legend, lead Liverpool 3-0 in our Champions League final, and though them lose, Pierre Legend, when you look on it, Kaka, Sidorov,
Kaka.
Shishenko, Pirlo, yo, the man them have legend like, yo, like a Pierre Legend. I just not be able to say Pierre Legend. I know them still lose, so there is no such thing as a dream team. I think the best team is a team that is most efficient. You don't need 11 star on the field to play your best football. You need your most efficient level players on the field to play good football. That is my feeling. Cool. If I realize like I'm a Liverpool supporter, and I can say that Liverpool play some of the best ball, not when their best level players are on the field. Sometimes when the best level players are on the field, Liverpool start look trashy. I swear. So you have to look for your most efficient 11. You have to look for players that complement players. Is it me?
Yeah, I understand what Sir Richard is saying, but I want to touch on, are you there, Formula?
Yeah, man, I'm here.
Peter McGregor. No, I see a lot of people saying Peter McGregor is the coming of Jesus Christ. He's lighting up the JPL. And I'm going to say this to you again, Formula. I've seen this movie before already. As I'm telling you, I've seen this movie already. I've seen Peter McGregor played this. I don't know if Sir Richard get to watch the JPL. And he is also a bit inconsistent. He shows flashes of brilliance. But for me, a good player is a player who can give you a stretch of games with a consistent performance. I think what a lot of Jamaican fans do is they watch who is on the leading goal scorers list. Because if you follow the leading goal scorers list, Bygrave would be the best player in Jamaica, technically. But he's not. He's just been in the right spots to get the goals. Daniel Green, that played in the last window for Jamaica, he has a lot of work to do. For me, he's slow on the football. You can see the time he spends to control the football and know what he wants to do. He's not proactive with the play as yet. And I think he got a look in. He got a taste of international football. A lot of these players as well, Formula, has to be honest with themselves and said, I'm not there in my development where I need to be. I need to go back to the drawing board. I think the fans in Jamaica, they pump them up on the steroids and tell them that you're good. Mate, you're in the JPL. If you were that good, you would be playing in the top leagues. So the onus is on some of the players to look at themselves and do a reality check and say, you know what? For Daniel Green, he needs to realize you're weak. You gotta get stronger. You can't be the offensive player in a team and you committed the most fouls in a window. I don't think a lot of people saw that, Sir Richard. He committed the most fouls and he's an attacking player. Because what he was doing is they took the ball from him, but they know he was overly aggressive trying to get the ball back. They just put their body between him and the football and he runs into them and we fouls them. That was something that happens in the international game because it doesn't happen to him in the JPL. So that shows me that he needs to go back to the drawing board, look at those tape and see what you're doing wrong.
All right,
and I'd like to be fair just to Mr. Green, to Daniel, in that I heard an interview with him after I think it was his international debut, and he did allude and put his hand up and say, yes, I do have much to work on in my game, including physical fitness and being aware of the difference between JPL and international football. So he did recognize that being led by the
Sir Richard, never buy those interviews. Jamaican players give you the best interview and the motivational speech after it. And they still come back and play the same kick and run. You know much time. Look how many times Damian Lowe come out and say to you, I don't think we're at the best today. And the next game he kick down to somebody, 2 red card. That's what I'm saying. Saying something and not executing it, that's 2 different things. I want to see
Fresh God. Well, first God. Fresh God said McGregor was in the Swedish top tier, then
No,
got
no,
injured
no,
and
man.
returned.
No, he
That's
wasn't.
not exactly what happened, Fresh God. He
He
was
wasn't.
signed to a Swedish top tier team, yes, true, but he did go on loan to a Swedish third tier team, right? And he wasn't a starter in his time there either. In the Swedish third tier, he got game time, but he wasn't a starter. When he was at the Swedish first tier club, he got 1 minute of game time in a friendly. So me not exactly know about that McGregor comment there. But I'll tell you this much though. I'll tell you this much. I
Hit the
think
like button, by the way. Hit the like formula. Tell the people to hit the like
Hit
button
the
and
like
subscribe button. Good conversation, Aguan, yes, sir. And Marcel, I hope. Did you get permission, by the way, for Marcel's face to be on the screen for so long? We don't want the brother getting nervous, you know. We don't want the brother getting
No,
nervous.
we need him. You know, this is how we need him to get nervous because he needs to crawl out of that took a rabbit hole there, and we need to find him. So this is actually what we need to do. Sir Richard, we can't keep sorry for them people here. Football is not about being your friend. Football
Right,
is get me the results. That's what we're talking about here. It's not a friend thing. It's not a friend thing, brother.
Right. JT. All right. So, when I think when we realize with Jamaican football, you see, Jamaican football, there is a lot of broken structures. Zine, and until somebody can come and somebody can repair it the right way, the footballer forever be stagnant. So, let me show you one thing when we realize. You know that you have some players that play for clubs, and the coaches and the administration persons for the clubs, they have never met the players' parents, and that is a big issue. That is a big issue when it comes on to clubs. That is a big issue. If you look at all the system across the world, if you look at US and you look at England and you look at Belgium, etc., you realize you have parents that bring their child to all these different academies, all these different clubs. The clubs, they talk with the parents regularly, just to have a good relationship with parents. I think it's very terrible that we have players here where just get up and them just make the decision on them own. I mean, a 15-year-old, they have a club, and he feel like say him no want to play for the club no more. And he just take up himself and go our next club try out. And him, like them
No,
level of
because
professionalism that
Jamaica,
we attack. Them think
but
they are
it's
joke thing.
but that comes, Prince, that comes from the household structure in Jamaica. You know Jamaica, and when you start get good, your family show up and say, "My boy, that you're saying good."
No.
Along.
Well, on a JT, but you see the thing what we need to understand, having the full for develop a player, is not just a club thing alone, it's also a family thing. You see me? Because here we go now, remember, you only a coach a player club. You don't know where a player do a female, But guess what? You see, whatever the player do a female, that can have an effect on his development at the club. You see me? So you now need to come in dialogue. You need to ensure say the player eat when him there in yard. You see me? So that's why you need to have the dialogue with the parents and think. Cause you can't have your players out there hungry and then you want to develop strong players, world class players. All of these things are important. Your nutrition. You see me? You can't have your players upon roadside. You see me? Each up with him corner friend them 12 o'clock at night. No, as a player, you need a rest. Worse, you go to school and them thing there. You need a rest. There's a lot of things to consider when it comes on to a player development. So me I say this disconnect between players, parents, and clubs, that right is a need for fix.
So let's just put into context as formula, we want to solve this Peter McGregor thing, because we don't want people say formula say we are a fight against the player, because I do think the player is quality and he does deserve a call up. However, he's a striker, right? Am I correct?
Yeah, man, he's a forward, man.
man.
And I agree. I think the player deserves a call up too. He's quality according to JPS.
In the squad. However, but I'm saying no. With the strikers we have available, who you think Peter McGregor can, where in what position would you slot him in the pecking order from 1 to 5 as the strikers we have available currently?
He's not in our top 5, that's for sure. I have a couple of names that are ahead of him. That's for sure. There's no doubt about that. Antonio, Clark Harris, Gray, Boza, Roof, Burke,
Paris.
Paris. Well, Paris is not an out and out number.
Oh no, it's yeah.
Yeah, but although McGregor can play in out wide as well.
Formula.
Through the middle. Yo.
Formula. Watch out, may I show you something I'm wanting to take it in context. All right. Before McGregor leave Jamaica, how good you'd rate him comparing to the JPL, to players in JPL? Like,
I don't think he played in it. He never played in the JPL.
No, he never played in it, but we just still rate him same way. Out of 10, how much you'd rate him?
That's hard for me to rate him because I never saw him in the JPL.
Right. No, hold on. Take
I just schoolboy football alone, so I have to rate him poorly.
Hold on. All right, say that. Hold on.
Measuring up against JPL players.
You'd rate him poorly. We are going to take that, you'd rate him poorly. No.
Measuring up to JPL players.
That is a good measurement formula. But I just show you in context. How long Peter McGregor got Sweden for?
But me already said that daily. I said that he went there for a couple of months, came back, and is one of the greatest things we ever seen.
Alright, hold on, no man, son of that. I break it down into context, So So before he left Jamaica, he rated poorly, but him spend couple months in our overseas system, and all of a sudden him come back to Jamaica, and he's way better than his peer. So that not show you say if we had our players in a fully structured system, as a system that he went in for like 5 years, our players would have been like 10 times better than what we have. You know, feel so?
Yeah, that's common mathematics. That's basic maths.
That are in a full context, So therefore, that tells us that we are able to produce very good players, but at the current system we have now, we now go develop nobody to a standard there because everything's stagnant. So the only way we are gonna get better local players is unless we send them go overseas in a proper system.
Yeah, that is why I am a huge advocate for us blooding the players into the JPL as young as possible, and as soon as they hit 18, we get them out of the league, like a Paris or a Boza. If you realize, our most successful Jamaican-born players, were players that were either not developed by the traditional Jamaican system, mainstream system, or players who left Jamaica very young or relatively young, like a Paris who left as a teenager, like a Boza who left as a teenager, went to these respective overseas jurisdictions and received top-class development. That is why I'm an advocate for getting them in the JPL as young as possible. Having good agents, we forget about, we don't stress the importance of good agents. Having good agents that can get them moves into, respectable footballing jurisdictions overseas. By the way, Mr. Military, big up military.
Yeah, big up.
Here's the thing though. Military said McGregor is above the JPL. Judging by what he's doing in the JPL right now, one would have to agree with that, right? Him look like sometimes like a man amongst boys. Now, what I'm saying though is that this was a player a couple months ago who was on the bench for a Swedish
third division
team. Hold on, let me sit up straight because I kind of lay back and chill back. Yeah. I might turn on the camera too.
Yeah, man, turn on the camera, man.
Because seriously, more often make this point, and I said this on my stream the other day, and I'm gonna say it again. Right? When you look at our players that are leaving Jamaica and going overseas, right? Not many of them are leaving Jamaica and as soon and hitting the ground running in these respective jurisdictions that they are going to. I'll give you an example. Kahim Paris went to Slovenia, right? A lot of people don't realize that Paris benched in Slovenia for a very long time and then was sent down to the second tier, right? Okay, cool. Christo J. Daly has been in Slovenia for months. Only one match day squad he make. Nicholas Hamilton went to the Scottish second division. Right? I doubt him did get 10 minutes. Right? Peter McGregor went to Sweden. The best he could muster was being a role player on a third-tier Swedish team. Peter Lee Vassell went to the MLS. I doubt him did get 5 games. Right?
And
the
that's
list Okosa Chang has been in Denmark for about over 2 months now, about probably 2 months. Many a games his club has played. All know he has not made a match day squad. The list goes on and on and on of players that are leaving Jamaica and going to relatively low levels and cannot even make a match day squad. Johnny Talbot went to the Portuguese third division, right? He was one of the best centre backs in the JPL, Fox, right? Me watched the brother there for Harbour View,
Yeah,
and
man,
I
facts.
was saying him
Levels.
need to get the hell out of here. Now, he did get the hell out of here, went to not the Portuguese first division, not the Portuguese second division, the Portuguese third division, and did not make a match day squad, then got injured, then came home, right? The list, it goes on and on and on. I asked Unseen this question on my channel the other day. Mr. Unseen, barring the El Salvador League, barring the USL and the Canadian Premier League, in the last 4 years, how many players that you can point to me that left Jamaica, went to credible leagues apart and Canadian Premier League and USL and El Salvador League are not credible leagues. Apart from those 3 leagues, how many players can you look at me and point me to say these players left Jamaica and within a short period of time was getting relatively consistent game time at their respective clubs, right? I can tell you a few names. Norman Campbell at Graphica. That was the Serbian second tier, right? My boy then in India, in the Indian second tier, Jordan Fletcher. Chevron Messi Marsh in Costa Rica.
1 second formula. Somebody just send me a thing. I think somebody put in a group how much Jordan Fletcher is worth right now, guys. That's Indian rubles. That's not actually euros. All right. Continue.
Ishmael King, what do you mean by
not?
All right, formula. Voilà. Me help you out. I'm gonna help out JT a bit. You see me? All right. So, formula. You see all the players them where you say were left out of Jamaica. Should those players return to Jamaica, them are gonna be like far above all of the JPL players them levels. You see me?
The man them good enough for make
brother,
it incredible leagues overseas.
You see me? And me help out JT now. So people, it's when JT say the JPL ballers them not ready, and a style him a style the ballers them. But this is what he means. You see me? Because if these ballers gonna come to the JPL and they're gonna be levels above the players in JPL, then you don't find it that we now go in a JPL and pick a baller out of JPL for play upon the national team, that's a disrespect to the Jamaican player who left and are overseas. Because if those players were in Jamaica, they would have been better than who you call up. So JT is not dissing the Jamaican ballers, but he's actually highlighting the gaps in the system. So therefore, players, when we say you're not ready in JPL, we are not dissing you, but we are encourage you to go overseas and develop your craft and become better players.
Let them know, Prince. It's another step left to their development. It's another level.
Another couple of steps. When I say the youths them now have the talent in them, man.
Yeah.
We're not saying that. With nobody in their right mind would dispute that. What we're saying is that Fakibe Farkison was arguably Mullines United best player last season in the JPL. Went to the Slovenian second tier and, was not a starter in the games that he played in the Slovenian second tier. Right? How many players have left Jamaica, and even the best amongst us, Akwasa Chang was our leading goal scorer, can't make a match day squad in Denmark. Christo J. Daly was one of the best midfielders in the league. One match day squad in Slovenia. Tyree McGee can barely make a match day squad in Belgium to save him life.
Yeah. Formula.
Hold on there, I'm translate for the people them with formula just I say. I'm for translate it, You see me? So you see basically people with formula say, you see, sometimes you aim for the moon. But the moon is so far, you never gonna reach the moon. But you see the fact that you aim for the moon, you at least gonna pass your all stop. Yeah. So you see when you never reach to the moon, you're there above your all stop. So basically that formula I say. So them going at these leagues, and when them going at these leagues, they are the better players from our system. And them going at these leagues and them can't even make the squad. But at the same time, if them come back at Jamaica, just being in that setup is make them like a far better player than they was when they were in Jamaica. They are a far better player. Even though them not get no minutes, them not in on a squad, just being around the setup, being in the training, everything, the whole environment just bring them to another level by itself. Just that alone bring them to a level.
Prince, watch out. Panelists, very interesting what you're saying. Because of what you're saying, can you gents be clear? I'm looking at a comment here by Ian Campbell, the good St. Ian. Ian, we need to develop the local league, enhance coaching education, re-establish the youth league, and improve infrastructure. On all of these things, Ian Campbell, we can agree. But what you have just said, Prince, so eloquently, this leads me to suggest that surely you guys understand that there's a kind of a socio-economic dilemma facing the JFF. It's as if they recognize, and they're recognizing that there are players who need a bus, they need a chance. Rather than saying, okay, people do need a chance, but we
recognize them pockets need a bus, Sir Richard. Let's just call it what it is.
But Richard, you see?
Thank you, Formula.
Formula,
let me just finish this.
To be fair, I'm not denying that you don't have people in high positions that care about Jamaica's football. Right? I'm not saying that they don't, and they don't care about the youth. But in reality, well, in my humble opinion,
yes,
I do believe that their pockets mean a little bit more to them than the youth them. So that's that. Me just I gotta tell it as all means.
Panelists, can you love Jamaica? This is a question that I just want to get your opinion on this. Can you love Jamaica and have the best interests of Jamaica? Take your time and digest this. And at the same time, not fully embrace the quality that the diaspora has to offer. JT says easily we could get our hands on willing and able quality under 20 players from the Jamaican diaspora, English-based players who are ready and capable to add quality and value to the Jamaican national team at under 20 level. But because of the socio-economic circumstances and situations, plus what Formula said, there's a particular direction that has been chosen. So the whole question of, do you love Jamaica? Is it the best interest of Jamaica? Prince said that there's no concept, there's no ideal concept of a dream team. But JT, you've been a little quiet, JT, and coming, JT. Do you hear what I'm saying, though? Can you love Jamaica and at the same time say, hand on heart, with a straight face, that you're not going to select the best available talent, and rather you're going to be having discussions about Peter McGregor's and players who are not as good as Peter McGregor because of the socio-economic vested interest pocket considerations that are going on? That's what I really want to hear. As I'm staying here in London, 10 past 12, early morning, and I want to hear what you're saying, because I can see a particular direction and narrative that has been established by the JFF and some fans, and it clearly is a difference of opinion. JD, Cataract, myself, and many others would appreciate that something is amiss, and the whole idea of loving Jamaica is not necessarily the number one priority. Speak, gentlemen, speak from your heart and tell it as it is. JT, kick things off, please.
So you just described a quagmire. that was a quagmire of contradictions wrapped up in that statement. Because so I always speak about the social construct of Jamaica and the culture, and I always try to enlighten the fans that this is a key part of the decision making in Jamaica and the behavior of how we carry out business. A lot of us who travel overseas, we kind of relearn and we understand that maybe the way we're carrying on in Jamaica is not how it really works. And for us to really excel at the next level, we have to drop some of those bad habits that we usually have. So us here looking at the world from this angle, and we're trying to get people who never expand their horizon to see the world how we see it. It's also challenging, and we also have to take that into consideration. So I always try to come up with a solution to make it works for everyone, with the people who lack the cutting edge knowledge of what overseas countries are doing to get the success that they're reaping now, and for Jamaicans in Jamaica to carry on the culture and still be able to merge those two. And that's where I said, that's where a lot of people got me wrong, Sir Richard, when I talk about the quota system. With the quota system, Jamaican people in Jamaica will never accept a squad with 23 players who not one is from Jamaica. I'm telling you, no matter what people want to say to you on YouTube, people in Jamaica go walk around and say, them lose, you see them man, I be an Englishman out there. I don't even know one of them on them on the side. That's Jamaican culture for you. That's Jamaican culture for you. Whether it's wrong or right, I'm just explaining to you the quagmire of how the whole thing is set up. So my thing is, that's why I said, like, no, we found 5 players that we think are the best from the group. So we gave the red meat to that base in political terms. We fed their thirst right there. We got 5 of the best locals. Guys, are you okay now? Now we're trying to win. So now we have to go overseas and source quality to make sure we are able to compete. This is where I'm always trying to merge the things. And that's why I said, Sir Richard, when people hear me talk about quota system, they jump on it, but they never hear the part where I said a system at the youth level that's not binding. It's flexible, meaning that if a World Cup year comes around and you only find 3 or 4 talents in Jamaica, that's what we're working for. That's who we're working with. But that opportunity should always be there for the local talents to get an opportunity. But let's say out of that 30, we find 5. Now we need another 18 from overseas, and there should be no hiccups now. There should be no back and forth because now we're trying to win. We found 5. These are the 5 the quality players we think can take it to the next level. No, we need to go and source the other players from the diaspora and make it equal and make it work for everybody. That's what I'm always trying to do. Make it work for everybody. It's easy for us to sit on YouTube and say, let's bring in 23 players from overseas. But you're then now alienating our entire country. There are people in Jamaica who's working with their kids, putting their kids through the ranks and try to get them up to a certain level. And when they feel like they should be rewarded, you're also ripping away that opportunity because you sit on YouTube and you think this is how the world works. We have to take everyone into consideration and also the local leagues, because the local leagues that's governed by the Jamaican football bodies, you can't, when players excel and reach their pinnacle, you then now move the goalpost and said you can't play because even though you did everything we asked for you to do and you met the criteria, you can't play because we have players from the diaspora who are better than you, but that player was never able to compete at the same level as those players from the diaspora. So this is where the balance comes in for me when I'm always trying to explain, but they never hear that part. People with selective hearing, they tend to gravitate to what stimulates the brain. See it him say that, grab him right there. So we catch him now. We catch him. He said quota system. We catch him. We hold him. You missed the point.
JT, I tell you, you've explained yourself really well. Prince, I know you want to pipe in. I just want to read a comment. Thank you very much for explaining yourself at this juncture again, JT, and I appreciate that, as do the commenters. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe button because this is quality conversation and reasoning going on here. Boss Thomas says here, listen to this, shed some light and explain this. If you're born in Jamaica and play overseas, are you considered an overseas player or a local player? Because the best youth player will aspire to play overseas. Can you explain that to me? I don't know the answer. Can you give me the explanation for that? And Baller Car says, JT, you're sick. Now,
No,
you see
that's
them something there?
no.
You see those 2 comments there? Please shed some light because this is
Richard,
part of the
Richard, Barakar are the only man on YouTube where eat yam dumpling, so you can't listen to him.
Well, I know. All right. Before we go find out more expo on what JT say, you know. You see me? All right. So people, because I'm telling you, you see, people don't really understand the context of what JT say, you know. So you see, JT need a man like me on the show where I talk patois to them understand that JT attack English and the people are not really in the rich power, in the rich power and JT thing. So I have to basically, translate what JT I say. So
well, translate it right, because if you step out of line, we're come for you. Yes, sir.
Well, all right. Me I translate it. All right. So here we are going, people. The whole we know say them only a pick Jamaican ballers because in a team because they want to fill them own pocket. Everybody know that. You see me? Because there's actually some overseas player that is way better than the local players what we are call up. And that is just facts. You see me? Everybody you can have an opinion on it, but that is just a raw truth. You see me? Whether you like it or not, that is just a truth and a truth can't hide. So here we are going. The people that are picking these teams, they are not cunning enough. You hear me? They are not cunning enough. Because, for example, you see, if I was in their place and I was trying to sell some local players, do you know how I would sell local players? First of all, it's when the English team come, I pick the best 11. You see me? I pick the best 11. And so I pick the best 11 Englishman, that are top quality, of course, and not just English because they are
I
English.
like to
But we
say
have to be top
diaspora. I
quality.
said
Well, I
diaspora.
know. All right, the diaspora. I am
Spora,
picking the
yeah.
best 11
Yeah.
from the diaspora.
Spora, yeah.
Now, when we pick the best 11 or the best 12 from the diaspora, I am then going to pick my local players. You see, when me pick my local players, I start the best team up on the field. You see, if I level man them from the diaspora at the best level,
They
I
start.
start 9 and I put 2 Jamaican out there. Here why I put my 2 best Jamaican out there, because I see when the 9 man then go out there and them play good and them start dominate so much in a CONCACAF, me want to say, people, see my 2 Jamaican player there, you see how them match up to the Englishman them. You see, if an Englishman there, they are Aston Villa, me I go say, oh, my baller can match up to a Aston Villa baller, you know. So my baller must can get a contract overseas, and I saw me I sell my baller. That is how I would sell my baller, because me I measure them up to them peer, and I say, look, my baller them can play with the Englishman them, you know. So if my baller go England, I see where my baller can go in the Man U where the Englishman there, or the Tottenham where the Englishman they go play. And that is how I would sell my baller. So we have to become a lot more cunning. When I pick a straight Jamaican based player and then go there and then play foolishness, nobody now buy them. Nobody now buy no baller. So whether they want to put on the color or not, nobody now buy them, because foolishness they are play. But if you go out there on a winning team and you actually look decent with the winning team, then probably you have a look at talk can make for say, yo, a baller you need to go away. So you might play good with the Tottenham man them. Because if these guys from England are expected to be the next big thing in England, and my local ballers them can go up on a field and can match them toe to toe and can play in harmony with them, who for say my baller can be the next big thing in England too? You know, see where I'm just upon the field. So that is how cunning we should be. And I saw yourself player.
I wouldn't go as far as the start because I believe that starting lineup for me, I believe that getting into the squad is one thing, but getting in the starting lineup, that's earned.
Remember, say I sell. Remember, say I sell me. I sell.
Yeah, yeah, basically,
So I have to put a baller in there if me I sell baller. Cause if the baller is on bench, I can't sell the baller. Cause the baller not play. The baller must have played for me sell him.
Be very careful though, Prince. JT piping almost immediately. Prince, be very careful. What you were saying, what a wonderful smile. Look here, I've said it once and I'll say it again. No, you see, what you're saying there, be careful on the wares that you are selling. Be careful that you're not trying to do a thing, try a thing, because that is part of the issue, and that is befalling the Jamaican system at the moment. JT piping, unless Prince wants to come in. What you're saying is a micro.
We can't make Prince. We can't make a piping because we have to explain to the fans. I'm not in the business of selling players, guys. That was when Prince was explaining what I was saying. He then detoured into his personal, into his personal. He put on his managerial hat or his agent hat. I'm not into the. I believe that if you're good enough, you will rise to the top. I believe that you sit your backside on the bench till you get good enough. You will make the squad, but I'm not into selling any half-ass players. Just
JD from IMAX it would say this phrase. I've not heard it yet on the channel as yet, but here's the phrase. JT's alluded to it. It is hard work.
Yeah.
Hard work. JT, you just said something again, and I'd love you to expand upon that either before or after Prince. I love what you said there. That took some guts to say a player can be prepared and should be prepared to sit on the bench if necessary, if they back themselves and are confident in their skill and their ability to work hard and to show what they've got and to learn from others. If they're good enough, the cream can come to the top.
Because you could. What I'm saying,
philosophy and attitude.
And that's what I said, Sir Richard. When I said is you bring the 2 best young players from your league, and they come and they are understudy to top quality players. Because you're Jamaican, you're not gonna run out there in the jersey in the starting 11. So because I believe that every team in Jamaica, every national team. Anybody who's going to coach our national team, if you're a local coach, you should be an understudy at least 1 year under an international A license coach, and then you take over the helm. We shouldn't give local coaches the job up front of their track record of coaching the national the local teams, because we're not excelling at that level, and we see that our talents are not breaking through. So I think every level, the under 17, the under 20s, all those teams, we should have an international coach at that level with the Jamaican coach that you're planning to prep to take up the job after, so he can be an understudy as well. That's part of my idea.
Let me help you out as well, okay? You know, so I always show you a lifeline. So here we go on. So Teddy Lee say, oh, Boza get by, oh, Liam Bailey get by without playing with English player. You see me? And I see him thing Bala Kara say. So mama just clarify them thing there. Because you don't realize, you know, you text them thing there, you know, I beat up JT, you know. But you don't realize you don't beat up on yourself. Because first of all, Liam Bailey never did play no JPL. Liam Bailey never play no Manning Cup. A Europe him go and get developed. So right there, so you beat up yourself. Here we go on. You see Boza, the Boza situation just show how corrupt Jamaican football is. Because here we go on now, me did there with Boza. Me did there. You see me attack first hand. You see when Boza there in a JPL and Boza a score, pay a goal for Boys Town, Boza got under 20 and then with a kill Boza with bench. A pay JC baller, George's baller, they must start. Pay Manning Cup baller, they must start over Boza. And Boza play Premier League. A score goal for Boys Town and then with a kill him with bench. One at a time, my people, my fans, I forget mad and say, Boza, and I saw the people and put on Boza. So right there, so you get beat up again. So you can't use them Monday as an example. Because Boza, all of them Monday get neglected by the same system.
And Boza Prince, Boza is an anomaly. I remember Boza, this was a eureka moment in me watching Jamaican football. I saw Boza run on in the United States game, and I'm like, oh my God. Before the man touched the ball.
Different caliber player, automatically. Then time he did go Slovenia. He had spent some time in Slovenia. Taylor, I'll never forget it.
It's in my mind.
May I say, yo,
this player is not from Jamaica. I may say, who is this? I say, this guy run on Richard, and him run on with an international fire. He look like
ready, man. Ready.
You cage up a lion. You like you cage up a lion for 6 years and no feed him and you let him out.
Hear this now. You see the comment I'm trying to make. When I comment I'm trying to make, everybody I try justify why Boza get bench, So I say Teddy Lee I say Javon East was more informed than Boza at the under 20 level. Where Javon East did there?
Prince. Hold up, Prince. I think you new to YouTube? You know that's Teddy Lee, right?
Well, I know, but I just show people. You see me? Because remember, them people they are beat up themselves in Prince.
No, that's Teddy Lee. No him I do to you right now, Prince. Teddy Lee, no him I do to you right now.
You see, at the under 20 level, Boza I play for Boys Town and Boza score. Pay a goal in a JPL. Boza play against some of the best defenders in our country.
Yo, come on.
Boza play against some of the best defenders.
Boza was 17, 18 at
Teddy Lee, control them now, Sir Richard. That's what Teddy Lee do. Him choke a little bit and just reel them in. Teddy Lee reel them in now.
But here is a JT. You see Boza at the under 20 level, Boza will play against some of the best defenders in Jamaica. Boza out jump them, Boza out shoot them, out run them. You see me?
Boza was the leading goal scorer in the JPL at 18. So I don't know what Teddy talk about. The man was the leading, the man tapped the goals, the man was the golden.
Whenever you hear the panelists start speaking over each other, you know Teddy Lee's in the chat.
You see, Boza was the best youth player. Boza was the best youth player in the under 20 squad, and they would have killed Boza with bench. And he my best youth player in that squad, tell me now. You see me? And if you look for me and tell me say politics are involved in IT. When I look, a player man, we are player man in
Prince. Let me just educate you. I'm gonna give you the remedy. I'm gonna give you one tablet how you handle Teddy Lee Gray. So what Teddy Lee Gray does is he gives out these little loaded questions. They're like questions / insinuating. And then it baits you into now with another follow-up question, and he just strings you along. And before you know it, you spend a whole hour communicating with Teddy Lee, but it will never end because he has all these loaded questions for you while insinuating something inside the question. So you have to be aware.
Yeah, nobody go down there. Nobody go down there right now.
When look, when Military Guna just posted, Military Guna said Boza playing Jamaican Premier League from 16 years old. No more, everybody look into themselves and ask themselves this. Boza play Premier League from him at 16 years old. But in any under 20 squad, has Boza ever been the key player? Even though he's the best player in the squad because he play from 16, you know. And Boza has never been a key player in the under 20 squad. And look who them have over start over here, man. Pierre, Manny Cup baller. I have a Premier League baller, you know. We have score goal, you know.
So Prince, let's move the discussion along because if we discuss it like that, we're gonna end up till Boza was playing when he was 5 years old. You know what I mean? And for me, it's about where we are today. I'm a progressive, innovative thinker. I want to know where we're gonna go from here. I have to say,
voila. You see, before we go there, so I just want any panel know it there. You see, from Boza about 14, 15, Boza play under 21. You see, because them time the under 21 did their own, you know. And you see, from Boza was 15, Boza the leading goal scorer for under 21.
Yeah,
and
So,
I know so some of them under 21 baller there, I get called up for the national team them time there. And Boza at the age of 15 was the leading goal scorer for under 21. Never get no call up, never was no key player in an under 20 team, nor an under 17 team. Neglected by the system.
All right. We can't make Teddy Lee mash up his show. So basically, as I said, when Boza went to Moscow, I said formula. Boza is actually at a crossroad in his career. It's either he takes the next step, or he digresses, or he's just what some people thought he was. He actually took that next step, and it goes back to the transitional stage where we look at Jamaican football players. As we said, we lose most of our talent between 17 and 23. Why I say Boza is an anomaly, I always go back to a player like Omar Holness when he played on that under 17 team. I thought, for me, Omar Holness and Alvas Paul was the two best players for me. I thought those two players would have been international stars for Jamaica. Alvas Powell, however, I think when he took the next step, the coaches put him in a position that I don't think that was Alvas Powell's natural position. And I think that also hampered Alvas Powell from being a great player. I think Alvas Powell is an attacking player. I don't think Alvas Powell is a right back. Alvas Powell is a player who can take on players from what I've seen in the under 20s, under 17, and move forward. Sometimes I wonder how much the players stand up for the position they think they should play, or you just take the contract and you go to the USL and the coach say, listen, you use a center back when you know you're not a center back, and because you want to play, you actually take the reins at center backs. What do you think about that formula? Does our players sometimes get put into positions that their natural positions when they actually leave Jamaica, and it actually stunts their growth?
You'd have to give me more examples, cause not coming. All right, Alvas. Who else?
Even Lamar Walker. What position Lamar Walker plays in the USL?
I've seen games with Lamar Walker in the USL with him playing as a winger and also as an attacking midfielder.
Okay, and I don't think Lamar Walker is a winger. You can't have a winger who don't pass the football. For example, I would never put Lamar Walker.
But attacking midfield, you can't have an attacking midfield that even worse than attacking midfield.
That's why I said Lamar Walker is a bench player. Lamar Walker's best position is on the bench, where he doesn't pass or he doesn't do anything. I always say that. People always say you're trying to be. So I always, we drop another bombshell out there right now, formula. Richard King. I said on YouTube, I was the first person to say Richard King is this, is that, is that. To me, Richard King is not a centre back. For me, Richard King is a CDM. I think Richard King is a CDM who will give you what you need when you need someone to help out defensively and also push the play forward. He's able to tackle. He gives up on plays sometimes, but he will have that safety net behind him. I think Richard King is a CDM. I think if Richard King goes overseas, they're going to change his position immediately. Any top coach get Richard King, they're changing his position. If you look at Richard King playing for Jamaica, that's not how a centre back plays. Richard King always wants to push the football forward. Richard King, to me, formula is a CDM. What do you say? What do you think about that?
I fear that a fair argument could be made that he is. Many people though would argue that the world is going more into the direction of you're gonna see players who are CDMs playing more as centre back because of players who are centre backs. There's a greater level of technical ability that is required now for centre backs to cut it at an international level. So probably that is the reason why he was moved into the back line. So many people would make that argument. There you go, Ian. That's a fair point, Ian, when him said that I think Richard King is a wing back. That argument, that's a decent argument too. So
I think he's a bit slow. I think he's a bit slow for the wing back because why I say centre back.
Wicked crossing ability though.
What I think about centre back, why I said him playing CDM formula is his composure when he wins the football. And I think he would give you more than Speedy Williams, pushing the football forward and still be able to come back and defend because he also has that defensive ability. I think he's a hybrid player. I think he's a little bit too slow to go up and down the pitch and come back and recover in that right back position. And I've saw where he got exposed a little bit in that position. For me, but that's what I'm saying. I don't know if Mr. Speed is a risk taker enough to say this, because I think if Richard King came into Jamaica's team as a CDM, he would have left Jamaica already. I don't know if you saw Richard King play before Sir Richard, but I don't know what you think about that. I think if he played center CDM for Jamaica, he would have gotten a contract. I think he's a little bit too thin for a centre back. He has the height. He read the game very well, but he gives up on play. And you kind of want a safety net behind a player who sometimes gives up on play. But I love the way he's composed when he wins the football, and he intercepts a lot of football. He read the game very well. I think he would give us more than Speedy Williams in that position, because if Speedy Williams starts in this Nation League, the movie will end exactly how it has been ending previously.
JT, I'm gonna have to make a move in a couple of minutes, but
No problem.
You've just hit on a namesake. Yes, Richard King, talented player. I think is a great spot. I think you've mentioned his potential capabilities as a CDM, and I think that under the right auspices, he could actually perform that role. So fingers crossed if he's got good coaches to work with, and if he's got the time and they find the time and he makes the time and those around him endeavor to make the time, he could actually be a major asset to both club and country going forward. So maybe a dual role. I mean, there are players that are capable of playing in defensive positions as well as midfield roles, and Jamaica certainly need CDMs. So I think that's a great spot. I've enjoyed really a lot talking and listening to the ideas led by yourself, JT. Prince, always a pleasure. Formula Sports, always a pleasure to see and listen to you. And keep chopping up the topics with reasoning and respect. And I'll just listen to a couple of minutes and then bid you adieu.
Yes, guys, and
respect to all the commenters and subscribers. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button if you haven't done so.
Before you go, Formula, guys, yeah, we will be we go up to the 3 hour mark, so we have another 27 minutes, guys. So just get your questions in if you have any questions. And just formula before we segue into what you had to say is, I remember that game when Damian Lowe gave us flashes at the CDM position, and it became a big topic. My thing is, Richard King is a more composed version of Damian Lowe, but it actually shows us that's the kind of player we need at that position. We need a player who can balance aggression, push the ball, and have a certain structure or physique. Go ahead.
Now, I was just responding to Teddy Lee, who said that Barbosa in 2014 and 2015 was better than Michael Seaton. When did Michael Seaton ever do anything of note apart from signing for an MLS team at 16, Teddy Lee?
Well, he did score a really, I don't know if he scored a brilliant goal against Serbia in that friendly. I don't remember, but remember he was on the up. I think he even went to Germany for a little bit, right? He was touted to be a prospect, a good prospect.
He was touted, but in reality, the player was more height than substance in all. I don't want to say that. Probably that's not the right thing to. But look, many Jamaicans got excited when we heard a 16-year-old signing for, I think it was DC United, right? Mm-hmm. And even myself too, expected great things of the player. But to be fair, he never really came to the party.
Mm.
And I personally would love to talk to him to really hold a reasoning with the ball of it.
Mm.
But yeah.
Try not to get derailed. Try not to get derailed. You only have a few minutes left, guys. Marcel, take care, Marcel. Nice to see you. Look forward to hearing you talk, Marcel.
But hopefully one of the YouTubers can actually get in contact with the on a more serious note, guys. This is what the stream was about today, because I think that based on the toxicity, what you say, the toxic environment of the YouTube space, I think the fans, their attention span has been, I would say, spread thin, and it's been in so many different directions where I think we're no longer on topic. We're no longer on point of the things we want to accomplish. One of the things we should be trying to accomplish these days is getting the coach in front of the fans to explain where we are. We know that we're behind time, but we need to know, we need an update. He cannot be the coach that nobody knows. And we only see him in June when the team pops up and he gives us an interview and tell us why we lost. I think that's too late. And the fans has to get back on the ball and try to get the coach to come out and speak. So we have to put some pressure on him. He doesn't get a free pass. This is not babysitting. We're not running a daycare center here. This is international football. I always say, don't cry to the fans, cry to your parents. You are representing an entire country. You're chosen out of a potentially 3 million people in Jamaica, 6 million in the diaspora. You were chosen as one person to do a job. So we need to hear from you. We don't care about what you have going on. You're coaching the national team. You need to come and speak to the fans. Go ahead, Prince or Formula.
Sham 6. I agree. I know that in a Sham 6. I watched that Caribbean Cup, right? And
Formula, let's finish on what we on the topic, Formula. Finish on the topic, Formula.
That's the only time we ever really do anything.
Because that's Formula. That's not going to move the needle. We have 22 minutes. Yeah.
Formula, hear this. So you see, in a 2015, at the under 20, me never know say so long Tappa, aren't we? But you see, at the 2015 Jamaica under 20, Tappa was the coach. So we play against US, a catching all, and we get 2-0. I'ma tell you starting lineup. Nicholas Nelson, goalkeeper, Orlando Brown, Shaquille Dwyer, Malcolm Stewart, Renico Clark, and Roberto Johnson. That are defenders. Midfielders, Luca Levy and Ishmael Curry. And then for forward, we have Khalil Stewart, Danja Smith, and Cardell Bembo. You see? And remember, I said that at 2015, you know.
Prince. Just hear me out now, Prince.
Right.
It's not gonna that's not impacting what we're here for tonight. That's what I'm trying to say to you. As fans, what you just did right there, it explains where we are. We're brain scattered. What I'm saying is, give me your thoughts on basically the title tonight, and before we end the show, of what you think about where we are and what we should do as far as the coach is concerned.
All right. I don't know. Make Formula go on first. I'm going to draw up my thoughts. Formula.
All right. So I am concerned. I am concerned about the U20s. I always hear coach say this, that if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail, right? And I'm not convinced about the U20 preparation, right? And I'm not even going to call Marcel Gayle's ability into question right now. But all I'm just going to say is, even Pep Guardiola is going to have problems going into a tournament that his team is not properly prepared for. Even if the coach is Pep Guardiola and the players are probably the best team on show in that respective tournament, you still need to properly prepare for said tournament. Any decent coach worth his salt would be tearing his hair out of his head right now with hope, because that coach would have enough common sense to know that where this U20 is right now is far from ideal from a preparation standpoint. So I don't know if this process could have been handled more efficiently. I don't know. All I know is I sincerely wish that the little time that is remaining, the U20 team can maximize that time to the best of their ability, and hopefully we can get it together, and hopefully we can go to the U20s and have a successful showing. That's the best we can say right now. And hopefully at the very least we can beat Antigua and get out of the group. Because look, no, but I'm a joking thing. Like we have seen national youth teams lose to quote unquote, small Caribbean fry in recent times. In recent years, we have seen that some like a bug, quote unquote, bug Caribbean side knock out Jamaican teams out of youth tournaments.
Who is in the group with Jamaica
Formula.
first round?
Honduras, Costa Rica, and Antigua.
Okay.
Top
Formula.
3 progress.
I underestimate your thoughts, man. I know fully where you come from.
What is your thoughts, Prince?
Oh, you done Formula? I never know say it. All right. I think Formula still at that. Hold on. I'll go with that thing. So, you don't know. For your tournament, yeah, my expectations are wide open. You see me? I'm not really have like a set expectation for this tournament, because I felt that the preparation was done poorly. Like it was done extremely poor for me. Um, at this point, because there's no communication with the coach or anybody around the under 20 team, we don't even know where the team stands. So I find that as a big issue. Zinka, we don't know where the team stands, and because we don't know where the team stands, we can't necessarily give a proper expectation for the team. But we are all Jamaican, one Jamaican, and we are always looking for the best of our own countrymen. So going to this tournament, I wish them the best. You see me? I wish them the best, and hopefully we can go into the under 20s and we can see some good upcoming talent and we can enjoy the tournament. You see? So
Yes, so let me just wrap up as what Prince has said. For me, football is not about enjoying the tournament. It's all about qualifying. For me, I'm straight business when it come down to football, brother. Me not big friend when it come to football, because that's how it works. Football is like running a business, Prince. If you have your cousin or your father run the business and the revenue not adding up, he must forget the shoes. He must forget the shoes, or you continue losing money to say that I'm just giving my father opportunity. As some look on football, football for me is I don't care what you're about. Can you deliver the result? Because at the end of the day, I'm tired of sitting in front of my TV and watch Jamaica lose, brother.
oh, I enjoy that.
Exactly. So I don't want them to go out there and enjoy themselves losing while me in
So
front of my TV.
are we gonna enjoy?
Yeah. So on a more serious note, I
But
probably
Teddy, you
start.
not prove your point, Teddy. Sorry for
No,
cut
bro.
us.
No,
Sorry for
no,
cut
no,
us,
no, no,
Taylor.
no, man.
Cut
No, we're
you,
not.
Taylor.
No, 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 no.
I'm
I
like
think.
catch.
No, yeah. So, I might have started the show a bit harsh on when it comes to the coach, but I'm not taking back anything I've said. I've said it already. It's starting to look like a Tappa movie. It looked like Tappa Part 2, and you can say you're not questioning the coach's ability to coach, but we have to question his ability to communicate, or his because he hasn't communicated anything, and we don't want. And he's setting himself up. He's not going to be able to make any excuses, because if he's having problems getting everything he needs and he haven't said anything about, it's like me formula. Me drive my car and park it on your foot, and when me drive off, you tell me, say, my youth, long you have your car parked on my foot. I can't sorry for you, dog. I can't sorry for you. You should have said earlier that the car parked on your foot. So this is what I'm saying. We can't have a man like this come out later saying he didn't pick the side. He never have a video analysis. He never have a physio and all these things, but you never said anything all this time leading up to the campaign. And it's a bad look for Jamaican coaches. We can't no longer have Jamaican coaches who do not communicate the direction of where they're going with our teams or what they're planning to do. And it was a good show. Big up everybody in the chat. Big up military them, everybody. Teddy Lee who come in with the fishing rod and try to reel in people. Big up
I'm
Eagle
like
Republic.
catch, man.
Tennessee, Lewis,
No,
everybody.
son, no man can catch me, Bailey. Why?
Yeah, everybody who
No
came
man
in,
catch me.
everybody who came
No
in.
man.
Big up the Formula Sports, and
Bailey, me expect better from you.
big up Ryan LFC who gave us another opportunity tonight to express our views on
Big
Reggae
up, Ryan.
Boyz football, and big up Prince for coming in, and big up Formula. Big up everybody again. And until then, we see you guys next time. All right, blessings. Okay.
Stream done?
The stream not done yet.
You not done? So
The
which
stream,
part Taylor gone?
the stream still a roll. Like
So which
Taylor
part
that,
Taylor gone?
well, I don't like Taylor that's not all the stream done.
Taylor just think him says stream done and stream just done. How are this man? AI around the stream.
Taylor move
I
like
understand
JFF here.
Taylor said Taylor move like JFF.
The stream is just done, Thank you all for coming on the show. And have a good night. And stream just automatically finished.
Taylor, which part you the boss?
Go on, man. We
I'm
probably
done
have to
the
go
stream,
link
man.
Ryan. The stream not done, man, because it's still around up at top. Look, it mark live. If it did done with a
Him
mark
text me and
ending.
say just hop off. Alright, mega hop off, my boss.
Alright, who was a JFF?
Me don't know if my hop off if it just in, but cool.